Sports IE 1350 AM KUBE Riverside.
You and me, we're gonna have a fight today after school. 3 o'clock in the parking lot. You try and run, I'm gonna track you down. You go to a teacher, it's only gonna get worse.
Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. Your leader in sports in the Inland Empire.
The Riverside.
Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
It's Friday. You've got nothing to do. Just hang out with us. We're going to talk about all the big sports headlines, including right here home in the Inland Empire. I'm Pep Fernandez. That's Jeff Gorham. Greg Holla holding it down here in the studio. Jeff, I feel like right now, I feel like I didn't even go to Hawaii. Like I never left. Like, did it really happen? Was I really gone?
It was all a figment of your mini imagination.
But in Hawaii, I was halfway to the Olympic Winter Games, right? In South Korea. I was like practically there.
You were near South Korea. You were near the Koreas. The unified Korea, as they like to call it now in the Olympic Games.
So they're all cool.
No, not cool at all.
But did they march out together, North Korea and South Korea?
Yes, they marched out. They're not, I mean, the
they're
two
not
countries.
simpatico?
No. The two countries are not friendly, but they decided in the spirit of the Olympic Games, they were going to join under one flag just for these couple weeks together. Yeah, they're not friendly at all. They got that one. Have you ever seen in the movie? There's a movie. I think it's a Tom Hanks movie where there's a border and there's a train and there's a bridge, and you can walk across the bridge and you're in North Korea, and all they do all day long is stare at each other.
That's it?
Yep, they're ready for war at any given time.
Don't you dare
Kim
cross
Jong,
that line.
Is it Kim Jong-un?
The Un Dog.
Yeah.
The Rocket Man.
Hey,
the Rocket Boy, whoever
he's ready.
President Trump called him.
But they're, they have the opening ceremonies already.
It's already done.
Yes, because, that's behind. We're in the future. They're in the past. So it's already happened.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm going to steal something that we had later in the show because you've got a lot of funny stuff we're going to do later.
Yeah, I got some things.
This was something I was going to share later, but we'll do it right now because at the opening ceremonies, which Jeff is right, it already happened, although you will not be able to watch it on your television set until later tonight, but it's already done. Apparently, there was a President Trump and Kim Jong-un impersonators at the Olympic ceremonies.
Were they together?
They were together, and they were taking a bunch of pictures with people. I guess it caused such a disruption, they actually got kicked out. They had to remove them from the stadium. Because there's pictures. Go ahead. If you go on Twitter, you'll find it. It's pretty funny. Again, they were imposters, not the real thing, but of President Trump and Kim Jong-un from North Korea. And again, it was pretty hilarious. The two of them together at the opening ceremonies, and it caused the scene. And they got kicked out. They got to get them out of there because people were just freaking out. They're trying to enjoy the opening ceremonies for the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, but all the attention was paid to these two imposters hanging out in the crowd.
There they are.
Do you see? Doesn't it look like
that? Yeah! Look at those guys. He's got a Make America Great hat on, and Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, scroll down. I want to see that picture real quick.
How do I do this? I'm so new to this game.
Yeah, just keep going. Look at that. So if you're not right up close to these guys, if you're looking from afar, you'd be like, holy smokes, President Trump and Kim Jong-un hanging out, man. What happened behind closed doors? We're all friendly again with North Korea.
Yeah, that's tough. Look at
it. Oh, it's a spitting image. It's so funny. Anyways, that was, at least for me, the big highlight, the big takeaway from the opening ceremonies that you will watch tonight on television.
How about the guy from Tonga?
Yeah, he was
shirtless. And it was like 0 degrees, and he was all greased up.
Again, because he did that at the Summer Olympics.
Yeah, because he was a kung fu fighter in the Summer Olympics, and now he's a cross-country skier. Mm-hmm. But he showed up all greased, like a greased pig.
Yeah, he's all shiny and greasy. And
God, he's beautiful, too. Look at him. He's all six-packed out. Those darn Tongans.
Yeah, I think he carried the flag out, right, for their people, for the country? Yeah,
I bet you can pronounce that name. I can't because you're professional. Pita Taufatu Fua.
Tofua.
That's pretty good. He goes shirtless.
Like
yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to watch it tonight, baby.
Tonight. Here's what I used to do back in my TV days. So NBC obviously has a stranglehold on the Olympics, right?
Yes,
they dictate everything. And when you have an Olympic Games on the other side of the world like we're having now, all the events, the opening ceremonies, it's all done by the time we wake up in the morning or by the time you get to the afternoon. It's all done. So what NBC does, excuse me, they embargo all the video until their primetime window closes. So when you go home tonight, Jeff, and you're watching the opening ceremonies, let's say their Olympic coverage in primetime does not end. Let's say it's 11 p.m. Let's say it's midnight. Until that ends, nobody else is allowed to show video.
What?
Nothing. So if you're on the other side of the world, it's like a day old. It's like 24 hours old. So I'd get on the news, because here's the loophole. You can show pictures. So I'd get on the 5 o'clock news like a real jerk and be like, hey, guess what happened in the Olympics? Today, so-and-so won gold in the downhill. And I'd blow it, and everyone would be like, oh, Pep, you ruined it for us.
That's terrible. You were a spoiler.
Because I was on ABC, and that was NBC. And I was like, guess what? I don't care. I'm going to be that jerk. I'm going to spoil the Olympics for you because it's on a competing network. Because, again, we couldn't show the video, but we could talk about it. We could show pictures, and that's exactly what I did.
Nice. Look at you, you rule breaker.
I know.
You are such a rebel.
I know.
Rebel.
Big time.
Hey,
showing all those still images.
Hey, we are just under an hour from the curling mixed doubles round robin. It's going to be China versus the United States of America. We will keep everybody abreast of the curling score.
See, when I do curling, I like to go solo. I do it by myself. Don't do it in like the tag team.
When I curl, I'm usually in a weight room.
Lifting weights, pumping iron, right, Jeff?
You can't do curling by yourself.
Yeah, I got a picture. You said it wasn't me.
It's not you.
So I went back to my old Facebook page, and I wrote, look at what was my comment under the picture?
Curling for real.
For real. I was curling, man. I was that close to making the U.S. Olympic team.
What are you, like 19?
No, I was.
Hey, that's pre-gluten free,
my
friend.
30s.
That's definitely pre-gluten free, buddy.
I was kind of baby face still.
Yeah, look at you, little baby chub going on.
Yeah.
Look at you, cutie.
But I was in shorts. Look at me.
Okay, now when you did that, you learned how to do it?
Yeah.
And then when you threw the, what's it called, a puck?
The stone.
The stone. When you threw
stone. You don't even listen to the stones, Jeff.
When you throw the stone, did you have the little broom?
Yes.
Do you know what is the broom for? To speed it up and slow it down?
Exactly. You're exactly right. So you knock the stones around. You try to get it in these spots to earn points.
Did you have funny shoes on, like with grips?
No, I had DCs. You know, DC skate shoes?
Look. You are just a ding-dong.
Look.
DC
you can't. It's hard to see. Yeah. DCs, shorts, total California look.
Then how did you get down the ice without falling on your head?
Just skilled, man.
You're not skilled.
Lots of skills.
Get out of here.
I was that close.
We got
to the Olympics.
Communists versus the United States of America today at 4:05.
Hey, hold on. I have a Chinese foreign exchange student living at my house.
You have a communist living at your house?
I am pro-China.
You have a communist?
Yes, she's very nice.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
Does she have one thing of clothes that she wears all the time?
No, we bought her more.
Does she wear a red hat with a big star on it?
No, we bought her, a
blue hat with a star
Make
on
America Great Again hat for her.
Is she gluten-free?
No.
She's not gluten-free.
No, she likes she likes lots of rice, which is, inherently gluten-free, but the noodles aren't.
What?
So if she goes noodles, we can't eat it. I can eat it, but my wife and kids can't eat it.
Yeah, just let's tell everybody that your family is allergic to gluten.
They are.
So they can't eat.
Can't eat
stuff.
it. Because she wants us to try all this crazy stuff. At least I think it's crazy, but back to them, it's just like going to the movies and having a snack.
Eyeballs. Do they ever eat eyeballs?
It's like pickled bamboo.
Whoa, that sounds pretty good.
It's really spicy. The other thing she likes is duck neck. Like with the bone, and it's almost like
real duck neck.
It's almost like a smoked or like a beef jerky. Yeah, it's a duck neck, and they eat it like a snack. Like you just sit down watching a movie at home, you eat like pieces of duck neck.
Have you had it?
No, but she has it, but I haven't tried it. No.
So it's in your fridge, just the duck neck.
Yeah, it's there. It's in my house. It's in my house right now. Yeah.
Do you have to refrigerate the duck neck?
I think so. Oh, the other thing they love, it's what's it called? I'm gonna have to text my wife because I gotta get this right.
Now, when I was a kid, I used to go fishing, and I used to go fish for bluegill. Those of you in Southern California.
Bluegill. Yeah, I know bluegill. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you grab it, catch a bluegill with your hands, and the little thorns will go right through your hand.
Yes.
They're dangerous fish. They're like, they're part of the piranha family. Did you know that?
No, they are?
Yes, they are part of the piranha family. Well, here's the deal. You used to use salmon eggs. Remember salmon eggs? Those little red salmon eggs? In the little jar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was my wheelhouse, man. I used to fish when I was little. That's what I used. Marshmallows.
I'd freak out my friends and eat one.
You did?
Yeah. You know what else catches bluegill?
Why would you do that?
Hot dogs.
Yeah, I've used hot dogs, too.
Hot dogs. I take my kids bluegill fishing and hot dogs. Only Hebrew National, though. This got to be kosher.
That's all you buy. You say when you go to the stores, Hebrew Nationals.
I'm telling you, bluegill will only eat kosher hot dogs.
See, I used to fish for crawdads. You know what crawdads are? Like the baby lobsters.
Used to do that at the river bottom.
Yeah, we used to go to
Fairmont Park. Yeah, Fairmont Park.
Did they have crawdads down there?
All over.
Really?
Would you eat them?
No, because the water was. I don't like seafood anyways, but the water was really stagnant. So we'd catch them and just throw them back. Because even if I did like crawdads, I wouldn't eat it in that water. It was like this little creek behind our house. It was.
What'd
gross.
You call it?
A creek. A creek.
There's something wrong with you, man.
Yeah.
You say milk and crick.
Milk
and crick.
Crick. Down by the creek,
my friend.
Down by the creek.
Hey, when we were little though, we used to go down the river bottom by Fairmont Park, and we'd get them and we'd put them in big paint. Those big paint things.
Yes.
And we'd fill.
Did you sell them?
No. Oh. We my buddy I wouldn't bring him in my house, but this guy lived on our street. He was a ding dong. we would always like go into his bathroom and like fill up his bathtub and watch him swim around. There'd be like crawdads and crawdad poop, and his parents would come home and yell at us. Yeah, and
his little brother has to take a bath in there that night or something. You know?
They were weirdos. Dad used to always answer the door in his underwear. He'd say, hey, is such and such there? Jason. Let's just call it Jason. Hey, is Jason there? Dude, put on some clothes. You're wearing your underwear, Jason's
Tidy
dad.
whities.
Weirdo. Yeah, crawdad fishing.
Hey, so besides the duck neck, remember, and like the pickled bamboo, there's a sauce they put in everything. It's probably like in America, like ketchup or barbecue sauce or like ranch, maybe, because we put ranch on everything, right?
Yeah.
So the sauce that she puts in everything, if you translate it into English, it's called Old Dry Mother.
Oh. Old Dry Mother.
Yes.
But you know what it really is? You know what the sauce is? Because she is communist.
It's spicy. She's not communist, though.
They all are. They all are. Don't fool you. You know what that is? It's the 8-year-old kids that are making your Nikes. And it's the sweat of those children.
They make the sauce?
They make the sauce. That is exactly what it is, because I'm telling you, communists. Commies.
Well, she's very sweet.
She is a nice girl. I've met her before.
She's part of the family now. Are we going to talk sports, or should we not? Or just go full international Olympic coverage?
Full Olympics, buddy. We're talking real stuff, curling in less than an hour.
I can't wait. Dude, I'm the big curling guy on the show, man. I love curling.
You are.
I was that close to making the team.
The team.
You don't even know the stones, man. I was throwing around stones, and I had the broom. I was flying around.
You're wearing skate shoes.
Yeah, I was.
Ding-a-ling.
We'll talk some Clipper basketball. They're taking on the Pistons tonight, which means they're taking on Blake Griffin, right?
Blake Griffin?
Yeah, rematch.
That guy?
Yeah.
They're playing a goofy schedule, but yeah, they're going to win like 9 in a row, I think.
Who, Detroit?
Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, they're hot right now. You know who else is hot? We're going to talk about this also. The Lakers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kate Upton. Kate Upton's pretty hot, too.
She's hot, too.
Okay. The Lakers.
4 in a row. And they've won 12 of their last 16.
I feel the playoffs are coming, and they're bringing Isaiah Thomas, baby.
We're going to talk about that big win against Oklahoma City last night, 106-81, a blowout win, although the Thunder did not have Lil Russell Westbrook, and also Carmelo Anthony. Did I tell you about the time that Melo played at UC Riverside?
You did.
Okay, just want to make sure. And we'll also talk more Winter Olympics coming up at 4 o'clock. Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise, right?
What does he know about Winter Olympics?
I don't know. Are we going to ask him about Winter Olympics?
He wrote an article about some ice dancers.
I'm going to ask him. Can he next time be like, hey, we've got a local guy who almost made the curling Olympic team.
Oh, that's right.
That'd be me. Yeah, so I was right there.
Hey, we have a girl on the a woman on the
women's hockey team, the national hockey team.
Why isn't Jim Alexander on that?
Eastvale resident. Let's ask him.
He's not doing his job.
Jim, did you know we've got a local gal on the women's national hockey team?
We just broke the news to him.
In South Korea?
He's going to have to write an article about it.
Come on, Jim.
Come on, Jimmy.
Step your game up. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk more Lakers and also UC Riverside basketball. Big one against UC Irvine, because guess what? The Highlanders are back. Playoff chase happening right now. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change You'll be spoiled by great customer service and the lowest prices. They'll get you in and out so quickly, get you back out on the road so you can sit in traffic like the rest of us here off the 91, the 215, and the 10, and you 60. You pick the freeway.
74.
But hey, if you're sitting in traffic, you want to make sure your car's not breaking down. The 74. Oh, the 74 is out there.
That's way out there.
It's out there. Also, Ken's Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs and Letterman's jackets. Remember, if you want to bling it out, they bling out all that stuff. And baseball hats, football helmets.
Rosin bags?
Rosin bags, you name it. They'll hook it all the way up at Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Everybody goes to Ken's. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. He's the very best. He's grooming young athletes to reach that next level, whether you want to make the varsity team, get a spot in the starting lineup, a college scholarship, maybe you want to turn pro. Ray Bass and his team, they'll hook it all the way up. Go to boosttrainingsystems.com for more information. And you know the place. It's right off Temescal Canyon Road in Corona. We're talking about Catalano Motors. CatalanoCars.com is the website where you can buy, trade, and finance and make that car shopping experience so easy. I can't even tell you enough, Jeff. I'm starting to think about getting a new car in the family. It's starting to,
Really?
You know what I mean? Because for me, I don't do anything suddenly. Like, it takes months and months of build-up.
Jeff really likes your car. He felt very cozy in it.
He made fun of it.
It's
like
in
a
my
go-kart.
pocket right now.
He already he made it quite clear. He's like, hey, on that next UCR game, I'm driving.
Next time he's
It's
gonna
like,
stick his legs out the window.
He was talking about I had my feet where I was moving the car with my feet. It was like
Flintstones style.
Flintstones, yeah.
Pull the brake.
Yep.
So, all right. So maybe I need to get to Catalano Cars, Catalano Motors sooner than later.
I had a
Is that what
caddy
you're saying?
for you, too. Seriously, somebody wanted to Coach Batdorf offered, hey, you want to buy a Cadillac? He sold it to Andy, Coach Andy.
Coach Andy Martinez?
Yeah.
He did?
Andy Martinez is driving around a sweet old caddy.
From old Kenny Batdorf.
Yeah.
Kenny football.
Kenny football.
All right, Derek Catalano, I'm coming for you. They don't like my car. I'll be there very, very soon. Catalano Motors off Temescal Canyon Road. We come back here on the Inland Sports Show. Who wants to talk some Lakers? Who wants to talk some UCR? And the Winter Olympics underway in South Korea. Nobody covers the Winter Olympics like Jeff Gorham.
I love the Winter Olympics. You know what?
What?
You know what my favorite sport is?
What is it?
The skeleton.
Oh, that is. That's fun. Like the luge, the bobsled,
I
and
know all
the
that stuff.
skeleton.
The skeleton.
Jeff, so deep in the Winter Olympic Games. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
If you don't say you love the Dodgers, you might not get into heaven.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
Okay, what else? Oh, yeah, we got to trim some of the fat around here.
Trim the... What do you mean by trim the fat?
I want you to fire the fat people.
Welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, every single day of your life, 3 to 6 p.m. Breaking news. Just stop what you're doing and listen to this. The CIF Southern section just said that the Open Division boys basketball brackets are done, and they will unveil them tomorrow.
They're done?
Tomorrow afternoon. But the girls' brackets have been unveiled. There's no Inland Empire schools, at least in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. So, but the girls' brackets are done. But remember, the semifinals, boys and girls, will be at Cal Baptist University coming up on February 24th. That's a Saturday. So all the semifinal games for the Open Division. So again, regardless of school size or what division you may play in, doesn't matter. Open Division, best of the best. And the semifinals will be at CBU. The boys will be unveiled tomorrow. So,
all right.
There you go. Laker basketball. What's up with the Lakers, man? So they made some trades. They're bringing in Isaiah Thomas, right? That's kind of the big name that they were able to get in the right before the trade deadline in the final hour, which I still don't get, Jeff. That you've got all this time to make a trade, and it seems like the last hour or two before the deadline, everyone's like, "Oh man, we better hurry up and do something like this." It's like a game of chicken. Like who's going to budge first? Like it always happens at the 12th hour, the final moment. Why is that?
Well, because they want to see where all the dominoes fall. I mean, if some guys hold on, they figure during this later on in the season, teams will release guys and buy them out. They can pick guys up off of waivers. So the biggest thing is everybody wants to clear cap space for the following seasons, and that is exactly what the Lakers did. They cleared cap space for. Right now, they can get 2 max players next year, possibly 3 if they can get rid of that Luol Deng's hideous contract. That dang contract is horrible. But you pick up Channing Frye, who's a team guy, and you pick up, a guy last year we were talking about being an MVP candidate at Boston.
Yeah, he was that good.
And now
Isaiah Thomas, IT.
But have you seen anybody fall that far so quickly?
No. And he really fell out of grace in Cleveland real fast. I mean, granted, maybe he was never completely healthy. I mean, he was kind of banged up. He's a little guy.
15
He gets
games.
banged up.
Yes.
But, yeah, what was he averaging, like 27, 28 in Boston? He was barely in Boston, and he became a folk hero. Like, they loved him in New England. Like, they loved Isaiah Thomas, and he was hardly even there.
And remember, during the playoffs, he lost his sister.
Yeah,
Sister passed away.
He still played.
Remember, he broke his tooth in the game, and then he had that broken hip or whatever it was. And that really, just really feel bad for the guy. But what's going to happen is his contract is off the books after this season. What is his value next year? Not very high.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, you got to strike when the iron's hot. For Isaiah Thomas, the iron's not exactly hot right now. Unless he gets to the Lakers and he starts lighting it up. And if he's in a contract year, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in the final year of a contract, guys always seem to find a way to have their best seasons. You know what I mean? When there's money on the line, or they're talking about their future, they always seem to bring out the best. Whether it's baseball or basketball, like that contract year, they're always having a huge year. So we'll see what IT does down the stretch here. But yes, obviously the writing's on the wall. The Lakers are freeing up space. They're getting all the money they can, like Scrooge McDuck. They have this huge room with just piles and piles of money to bring in some free agents. The question is, which free agents will they target? LeBron James, Paul George. You think Kawhi Leonard could be in the mix? Klay Thompson? Because it could either be this summer or it could be next summer, or maybe a combination of the two. But of the names out there, Jeff, like, who do you see? Because obviously we'd love to see Kawhi Leonard in purple and gold, get him back home to Southern California, the King High School product.
Oh, it'd be great to see him. But I'll tell you what, they're going to gamble everything on getting LeBron James here, and to do so, a couple factors have to happen. The guys that Cleveland brought in, Clarkson, Nance, those guys, the players they brought in from Utah, they have to win in order for LeBron to stay. If they tank it, and everybody's saying, oh, they're much better now. Are they really better? I mean, they gave up MVP candidate or MVP award winners, Derrick Rose. They gave up MVP finals, Dwayne Wade. They gave up arguably one of the better players in the league last year, Isaiah Thomas, and they didn't win. So if these guys don't win in Cleveland, he's going to be looking to go somewhere. And there's only a couple places LeBron can go. He can go to San Antonio where there's some space. Who wants to live in San Antonio? He doesn't. He doesn't want. His family
But
is entrenched.
he could team up with Kawhi Leonard if Kawhi Leonard ends up staying with San Antonio.
Yeah, but honest to goodness, LeBron James playing for Coach Pop, who's it's like playing for Pat Riley.
But he must have played for him with Team USA, right? Coach Pop did
he was an assistant, but his legs are going to be shot. You're an older guy. You want to play your last 3 years because essentially LeBron James is going to sign a 3-year contract, and his career will probably end after those 3 years. Why go there? You can go to Philadelphia. They have space, but remember, his family lives out here. He has 2 homes. He's planning on having his 13-year-old son go to high school out here in Southern California. His production company is here. He has so many other things going on. Why not Los Angeles? And it's a good spot for him. I mean, he can play around young guys. It's a similar team that what he has right now in Cleveland. Why not do it here in L.A.?
Man, the Cleveland Cavaliers 5 years ago would have been awesome with that roster.
Yes.
Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, Kevin
great.
Love, LeBron James. 5 years ago.
Yes.
5 years ago, not now. The Lakers did make some moves. Let's go ahead. You know what? Let's have some Magic Johnson. When he's not hanging out at Fat Burger, he's talking about the Lakers moves.
Right. Owns Fat Burger.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good, too. But he was talking about the Lakers moves along with Rob Pelinka, who looks just like Rob Lowe. And Rob Pelinka was a Michigan guard. Back right before the Fab Five. Do you remember this?
That's right, he was.
Yeah, before Dugan Fife and Chris Webber and all those guys. My boy, Dugan Fife. Rob Pelinka was played at the University of Michigan, and now he's GM along with, Magic Johnson.
Another Michigan guy.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
They're getting along. Look at that. Spartans and Wolverines getting along, running the Lakers.
That's weak.
But here was Magic Johnson recently talking about the trades that they made for the Lakers, who have won 12 of the last 16. And right now, Magic's thinking, playoffs? Here's Magic Johnson.
First of all, we're excited. When we had a great conversation a couple months ago, and I told Rob, if we can get some flexibility and maybe a first-round pick at the trade deadline, it would be great for our organization. And I want to really congratulate Rob. He did an outstanding job of working the phones and really bringing back something that I could get behind. That's going to be great for what we want to achieve here, which is first we want to get back to the playoffs. Then we want to get back to being a championship team. This gives us the flexibility to achieve those things. And we want to first of all say that we gave up 2 outstanding players, but also 2 outstanding men. They've been really wonderful for Laker Nation. Jordan, I love him because everything that we ask him to do to get better, body fat, trim it down, he's been able to do, and he was having an outstanding season for us. And then Larry is just Larry. I mean, he's provided so many thrills for our fans in terms of his dunks, his block shots, and we also value both of us the relationship that we had with Larry too, and so both him and Jordan. So we had to give up some special guys to get the flexibility that we've been looking for and that is needed to get us to where we want to go. So it's a great day and a bittersweet day because Rob and I like these 2 guys a lot. And then Jeannie, really, it was tough for her. Jeannie loves her Lakers and she become fond of all the guys. And so she's just like her father. She never wants to trade any of her guys because they're more to her than just players that wear the purple and gold. But she got on board, and we had a great conference that said, hey, we have to do this deal for the future of the Lakers, for now and the future. So I'll let Rob say a few words, and then we'll answer questions. But this is what I came here to do, was to create flexibility for our organization so that one day we can have a superstar or 2 come to this organization with our incredible young talent that we have, that we will continue to grow. And, the Lakers right now, we're on a good run, and we're playing some good basketball. So I want to thank Coach Walton and the players for really playing some good basketball right now. So it's tough for them too because two of their friends also got traded today.
All right, that was Magic Johnson calling his shot after the Lakers made a couple moves here before the NBA trade deadline, bringing in Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye. And again, Lakers have been playing some pretty good basketball. Can they make the playoffs this season? They're already talking postseason here, and they're playing really well without Lonzo Ball. Very interesting there. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we'll talk about the big UC Riverside game against UC Irvine coming up on Saturday night, because the Eaters are that one team that really dominated UCR. Of all the games, UCR's kept it close. Irvine was the one they did not. How can they battle back? How can they get that win on Saturday night at the SRC Arena? We'll talk about that. Plus, not too far from UCR, down the street at 3rd and Chicago, we've got a basketball champion. We'll talk about that as well. When we come back, it's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Going at you live and amplified right now on IE. Let's see. We're talking a little hoops right now. Jeff, go ahead and ask Greg what's going on with the volume right here. As we tell you, we're brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. Holy smokes. Blew our eardrums out. There we go. I need to get all that wax out anyway, so it's gone.
Subtly ask him, and apparently we've lost Pep's eardrum.
What did you say?
Exactly.
Brought to you by Spoiled, quick quality oil change, Kin Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Trading, and Catalano Motors in Corona. We will hoop it up, but we're talking about National Signing Day. Actually, all week long here, we're talking about National Signing Day. And I was out at the University of Redlands today, and I was talking to the athletic director, Jeff Martinez, great guy. And I said, you know what? Being a Division III college, University of Redlands football, our only 4-year college football team in the Inland Empire, University of Redlands. I was like, how does National Signing Day work for the U of R, for a Division III school? Can you guys actually be a part of National Signing Day? And he said, technically not really. They don't necessarily have like scholarships and signing ceremonies and whatnot, but they do have more of like a ceremonial like paperwork that the guys can fill out, like committing themselves to the University of Redlands to play football.
Like committing yourself to God.
That's right.
You are committing yourself to the University of Redlands.
To the Bulldogs. Yeah. And the other thing he said is the trickle-down effect. He's like, you watch. There's guys who thought maybe they could go to, let's say, a big-time prominent Division I school, and maybe they end up at a smaller, like an FCS school, like, let's say, Northern Arizona, Southern Utah, something like that. Those guys who thought, they could go, lower Division I, they're going to be bumped down to Division II. And there's guys who in Division II thought, well, I'm a D2 guy, but all the lower Division D1 guys are trickling down. Now I'm being pushed down to Division III. He says you see a trickle-down effect with a lot of the guys who did not sign. So it's for them, for the U of R, it's not the guys who did sign. It's the guys who didn't sign because they could trickle down to the Bulldogs because a lot of these guys want to play college football, but they got to see where the other guys are falling into place. It's almost like a puzzle. It kind of all comes together. And there's some other guys who, hey, you know what? I want to play at the University of Redlands. I'm going to study there. That's what I want to do. And they're locked in. But the other guys, there's a lot of other names out there that they're still waiting to see where that kind of fits in with their team coming up.
Speaking of trickle-down effect, I'm going to play a little name game with you later. And I'm going to give you a name right now. And if you can tell me, it's apropos to what you just said.
Okay.
Name the sport of this man with a funny name. Dick Trickle.
NASCAR.
Hey, there we go.
I know Dick Trickle.
There you go.
Sterling Marlin. That was Bill Elliott.
But does
awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Yeah, I know all those guys.
Well, I can't wait to play the name game with you.
Dick Trickle, man.
Dick Trickle.
I think back in the day on SportsCenter, whenever they wouldn't even say his name, they'd say you know who. They'd be like, let's take you out to the Lady in Black Darlington. The winner of this one's Derek Cope coming in second. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. And you know who finished 27th. They wouldn't even say his name, and he could finish dead last or somewhere in the middle of the pack. And they would just say, and you know who finished 20th, and you know who finished 31st. Congratulations, Sterling Marlin, is 13th Cup victory all time, and you know who finished in 39th place.
They wouldn't say Dick Trickle?
No, they just say, and you know who.
So, yes, we're going to play the name game later. Okay, go back.
I'm excited about that.
I said Trickle. I get excited.
Some basketball. Speaking of the name game, Minnow Dykstra and the UC Riverside Highlanders back home on Saturday night as they take on UC Irvine. Riding high right now, coming off that big win in Hawaii, their first Big West Conference victory of the season. And now, Jeff, they get the Anteaters right where they want them because the Eaters are the only team to really blow out UC Irvine or blow out UCR in conference play was UC Irvine. All those other games were close.
Yeah.
That one game at Irvine was the one that was not. So now they have a chance to come back. And it could be, ironically, it could be the return of Alex Larson. Alex Larson got hurt against UC Irvine. Maybe he's going to come back against UC Irvine. He was dressed out against Hawaii, but did not play. But it looked like he was at the end of the bench, ready to go if needed. But again, UCR able to hang on without him at Hawaii.
Yeah, that's when he went down, was versus Anteaters. And maybe we'll have a Dikembe Martin sighting this week.
I have no idea. They're back home. So we'll see if DK is back in the lineup, or I mean, at this point, you got to play with who's on the team and who you got at your disposal right now. And it's been DJ Sylvester's been stepping up. Co-flipping.
He's been playing flipping great, man.
He has. Getting the most out of his minutes, man. He gets on the floor, and he's all over the place, diving for loose balls. He had 3 steals last game, a couple big three-pointers. So guys are finding ways to impact the game. And, of course, Chance Murray, you got to take a chance on Chance because he does a little bit of everything. Second on the team in points, leader in assists, second in rebounds. Like, he does a little bit of everything. So I think UCR's in a good spot, which is crazy because if you would have told me arguably their top 2 players in Alex Larson and Dikembe Martin weren't going to be a factor this deep into the season in conference play, I'd been like, oh man, they're really going to struggle. But they're coming together. They're doing pretty well.
And they've played pretty well. And I shouldn't say they haven't played great. They've played really hard the entire season. You can't say that they've given up because they really haven't. They played hard for Coach Cutts. They played hard for Coach Justin Bell. And the guys all buy into everything. They like each other. It's a good team right now. Good vibe.
Did you see the graphic I had for you when I was in Hawaii when you were on your phone? I'm going to punch it up right now.
That's the silliest thing ever. So silly. I noticed that.
I just thought about it.
Yeah, thanks.
So, anyways, UCR taking on UC Irvine coming up Saturday night, 5 o'clock tip-off from the SRC Arena. And we'll see if we can put that 10-game losing streak way back in the rearview mirror and now go on a winning streak.
That would be awesome.
You don't even listen to the Stones, do you?
No, but I will say this. If they win the next few games, they have a shot. They're going to be in the tournament, the Big West tournament.
They got to, dude. If they make the tournament, we will do the Inland Sports Show live.
From the pond
in Anaheim. We will do it. If we can go to Hawaii, we can do Anaheim, right? Anaheim's just down the road. We could do it. I'm
going to say this though: if they don't make it, we're going to be the only guys in the entire conference that didn't get to call a game. We'll be the sad kids.
If they don't make it, I will buy stock in Sarah McLachlan. Like, that's how bad it's going.
Yeah, I'll cry.
We will sing Sarah McLachlan songs nonstop here. But no, when you hear the Stones, you know it's going well.
Yeah, baby.
And we're riding high with the Highlanders.
Big West basketball at its finest.
Before we wrap up our first hour, here are a couple other scores that we wanted to touch on. Some big games coming up tonight. Congratulations to our good friends at 3rd in Chicago, JW North. They beat the Rancho Verde last night, 67-51, as legendary coach Mike Barty wins another league championship. And, Jeff, he reached out to you. He wants to do the show.
Mike Barty is coming in next week. He's going to come in studio and talk as long as he wants because he's a legend. He's in the Riverside Hall of Fame, for gosh sakes. It'd be nice to have that guy come in and talk about all the great players, all the NBA players he's coached, and this team right now playing pretty darn good.
He's a great coach. I mean, I look at the last couple of years for JW North. They've had some really good teams with some really good players. This year's team is good, but I think Barty's really getting the most out of this year's team. Usually they've got 2 or 3 guys that are surefire, like, Division I caliber, big time, big name players. And this year, they don't have a lot of size. They might not have the biggest names out there, but they find a way to win. This is a really good team, and when they shoot the ball well, Jeff, I think you've even compared it to the system.
They run
they score a lot of points.
They run a version of the system, and he's getting the best out of the kind of guys he has. They're not real big, but when they're hitting, they're pretty darn tough to stop. So, yeah, Coach Barty's going to come in. Heck, he's been doing it for 40 years.
Hey, we might have some more breaking news for you.
Really?
Really. But real quick, the other big game tonight. Speaking of big-time players, Cajon is taking on Redlands East Valley, and Cajon and Rev have gone back and forth for that Citrus Belt League championship the last couple of years, and this year's no different. Although Cajon has already wrapped up the CBL title, now they're trying to go undefeated, a perfect 14-0 in the CBL. And when you're talking about big-time players, they've got Jeremiah Martin, who we just saw sign the football scholarship with Texas A&M. They've got Darren Jones, who's only a junior, but he's a big-time player. Deshaun Washington. They've got Jared Hyder. Big-time scores. This is a really good team. So when you look at Division II AA for the CIF Southern Section playoffs, I know Cajon was ranked, I think, 5th. But there's still what if you got to look at those teams as one of the teams to beat in Division II AA.
Yes, they're incredible. And Coach Coach Murray does a great job every year with those. I mean, you look at their program; they have the best athletes in the area always, and he always gets the best out of them. They play hard for him. They're always good citizens, and they play like they like it. And I think they have a shot this year to do some big damage in the playoffs.
Hey, one final note before we wrap up this first hour is we'll just make that smooth transition from basketball to softball. Little breaking news. Cal State Fullerton is taking on Rutgers in softball.
From Jersey?
Right now. Yeah, Rutgers. Guess who's in the circle for Cal State Fullerton?
She's got the first start of the year?
I don't know if it's the first start. It might be. I'll have to look at their schedule.
My favorite girl in the whole world, Taylor Dawkins.
Taylor Dawkins, the pride of Norco High School, out there running around like the Gatorade National Player of the Year as she is. And, she's inside the circle, taking on Rutgers right now. And we might even effort a live report from Cal State Fullerton. It might happen.
That would be great. We love Taylor. She's battled some major health issues the last couple of years, but look at her, National Player of the Year now, and starting now for the Cal State Fullerton Titans.
Yeah, man, she has got so much character and just positivity. It's tough. She's on the list for a liver transplant, so she's trying to enjoy her freshman year of college, be part of this Cal State Fullerton softball team. You know, and obviously she's a key player. She's in the circle. She got the start against Rutgers, so it's not like she's the last person off the bench. She's a key player. She's trying to go through all that while still knowing that at any moment she could get the call that it's time for the liver transplant.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen. They said, remember when she came in on the show a couple weeks ago, she said she has 24 hours or 12 hours. She has to be on a plane someplace within 12 hours of the transplant. So it could happen while she's in the circle. It could happen anywhere, and that season could be cut short, but really cut short for a good reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that she's going to have to do. It's something she wants to do, and but in the meantime, it's really tough. You know, you're trying to enjoy the moment. You're trying to strike out the batter in front of you, but all knowing, like you said, one phone call could change your life like that. So, best of luck to Taylor Dawkins. She is in the circle for Cal State Fullerton against Rutgers. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture out there on our Twitter account as well. In just a moment, so you guys can see her in the circle, and if we can get a live report from Fullerton, we'll do it.
Nice.
Maybe we'll do it in the 5 o'clock hour. That might actually work out.
Great.
So she should still be in the circle for Cal State Fullerton softball game against Rutgers. One other thing I want to put out there right now as we head into the break, so we can maybe talk about it when we come back, is the Southern California Football Coaches Association tweeted at me because they're doing a Twitter poll right now. And they have a really great question because the government is trying to force its way into sports.
What?
Because here's their question. Here's what the Southern California Football Coaches Association had to say. They want to know. You can vote on Twitter. Go follow them at Twitter. It's at SCFCA. _. That's it, underscore. They want to know who should make the decision as to whether or not your youth should be able to participate in organized youth tackle football. So you know what I mean? It's almost like soda. You know what I mean? Like some schools are like, no, we're banning soda. It's like, well, does the government, do they have to step in and say, you shouldn't have soda, or should it be up to the parents? You know what I mean? Hey, football. No, we got to ban tackle football. Or, hey, you know what? It's up to the parents. If they want to play football, let them play football.
I have a thought on this really quick. I know we're going against the break here. I think they should not be allowed to play unless the coaches are trained properly how to teach these young men and women how to tackle. That's the big key, because you watch, you listen to all these stories about youth coaches, and they don't know a lot about the sport. They go out because their son or daughter is playing, so they just go out and coach. They don't know the rules. And I think that these coaches need to be educated on how to tackle and how to play the game safely. If they don't do that, then I don't believe that the young men and women should be playing unless the coaches are trained properly.
That's a good point. And we want you to go on Twitter right now. Again, it's at SCFCA _. And they've got a Twitter poll because they want to tap the pulse of the parents and the players here in the Inland Empire, because they are curious. And again, I relate it back to like soda. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you want your kids to drink soda or not? Do we need the government to tell us, like, oh, no, we're going to ban it at your school because you can't do it? Are you going to ban tackle football too?
Dude, they banned it in my school. They banned soda in the teacher's
First
lounge.
soda and then football.
The teacher's lounge used to have soda. Now it's just water only. That's weak sauce.
Weak sauce. Jeff needs some soda, man.
You're darn right. It's freaking me out.
All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. The great Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Thank God it's Friday.
shuffle, shuffle. Come on. Do it. Come on. Do it.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Man, we're living in a brand new world where Jeff Gorham is standing up doing live radio.
You know, I've never stood up on this. Well, I have once before when I filled in for you on a Saturday show, but seeing Greg do all this work up here, it looks like he's flying the space shuttle. He is. He's like
basically the same thing.
He's doing some big work up here. I couldn't do this.
Hey, we've just gone final. CBU softball has beaten Chadron State. Did I say that right, Jim? Chadron?
I think so.
Chadron State.
Chadron, Chevron.
They're a powerhouse.
Are they?
A national
You know what they say
power.
about their softball team?
They say what?
I don't know. I'm asking. Do you know what they say about their softball team? 3-0 the final
lost?
score. Yeah. No, big win for CBU. Taylor Dawkins in the circle for Cal State Fullerton. So a lot of cool softball going on right now. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training in Corona, and Catalana Motors in Corona as well off to Mescal Canyon Road. We got Jim Alexander in the house.
The scribe
of the IE at the Riverside Press Enterprise. And Jim, you're working on something on Troy Percival, so I know you just want to spill the beans and tell us everything that's going to be in the newspaper right now, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it'll be in the Sunday paper.
Give us a
comeback.
I talked to him the other day, and we got a podcast up today, so it is on PE.com right now. Troy talking about college baseball and about his team, and it's interesting some of the stuff he's talking about coaching his son.
Yeah,
Cole Percival is a freshman, and he'll probably be
in the starting rotation.
Starting rotation, yeah. And he's talking about tweaking his delivery. And Troy was kind of Troy's a big guy himself. Troy's
husky,
6'3", husky.
Very husky.
Yeah, but Cole is 6'6", and he's got kind of a herky-jerky motion. And Troy was talking about how you kind of smooth that out and get rid of some of those kinks. And it's interesting. You need to go to PE.com and listen to the podcast. I'm trying to get clicks, okay? That's what we're all about.
Clickbait.
There's some interesting stuff.
Does he like this team? Because usually when you go to a coach before the season begins, obviously the record's 0-0 and everyone's happy and excited and optimistic. I mean, a coach isn't going to come out and be like, no, I think we're going to be really bad this year. We're really going to stink. But does he like this year's team?
He does, although I think he's trying to have it both ways because he keeps making reference to the 13 freshmen that he has.
23rd best recruiting class in the country.
Yeah.
But they're young.
Yeah, they're young, but he's got some talent there. He's got, Cole's probably going to start, and then he's got Nate Webb and
out of King High School, he's a stud.
King and Cruz, I think it is from Arrowhead Christian.
Yes, Robert Cruz, I think it is.
Robert Cruz.
Yeah.
Those two probably will be in his starting nine.
And then I think Hosky Hada should be back, right? The San Gorgonio left-hander.
I believe so.
He was kind of coming on strong. He was showing flashes of being like one of those front-end starting pitchers. He got kind of roughed up towards the end of the year, but I think it was a game at like Kansas State where he was dominant. So I mean, there's been some flashes where guys like Hosky Hada, speaking of Inland Empire guys, that could still make an impact for.
Yeah, it's interesting because last year they started out 10-5 and they had some really good wins. They beat UCLA on a ninth inning home run, I believe, and had some other good wins, and then you got a couple guys get hurt, you got a couple guys get eligible, some situations there, and things kind of went downhill in the second half of the season. And the deal there, as it is with all sports at UCR, is that the athletic director is very demanding, and meanwhile, the resources are what they are, and it's difficult to be able to compete when you're dealing with a smaller budget than all of your peers in the Big West.
And the Big West being one of the premier conferences in the country. I mean,
this is a conference that had two teams in a super regional last year. The same super regional. It was a great series between Fullerton and Long Beach State. And I was looking at the Baseball America projected 64. I mean, Division I hasn't played a game yet, and they're already projecting the tournament field, and they had Long Beach as the last one out. They're projecting like 10 SEC teams getting in the tournament.
Oh, come on.
Fullerton and UCSB as the only teams from the Big West. But, like I say, nobody's played a game yet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. So, without going and giving away all your good secrets in the column, is Coach Percival, because I think we're going to try to get him on next week before they play their season opener, but is he feeling pressure? Would you say he's feeling the pressure of trying to have a good season? Like you said, there's high expectations in the athletic department.
I don't know if he's feeling it. There's talk on the street that, the first 3 seasons have been below 500, and, he needs to win, and even if he does win, who knows? Read about it in Sunday's paper.
Jeff's got his eyeball. Jeff's eyeballs are huge because he loves Percival. That's his guy.
I do. He's my guy.
Yeah, you were starstruck. He's like the only guy I've seen where we've been in the same room with somebody, and you're like, oh, that's Troy Percival.
Dude, I hung out with Mike Trout, and that didn't bother me. But man, Troy Percival
gave knuckles.
Yeah,
dapped him all up.
Yeah, Troy's kind of.
Trout doesn't give you that look. Troy does.
Yeah.
and the thing is, Troy, it's kind of an intimidating presence just because of all he's done as a major league pitcher and everything. He's really not an intimidating guy with his players. I don't know if they're intimidated, but he's not a yeller and screamer. He says, when I yell and scream at them, they know I'm really mad. But otherwise, they make a mistake.
Teach into it, maybe, yeah.
Teaching moments. You very calmly tell them this is the way you need to do it and go from there.
I will say this, they're a loose ball club. I've been to a few games, and they are the loosest group of guys in the dugout. They're very entertaining. So even if you don't like baseball, you're going, it's boring. You got to go sit and listen to the dugout during the game because it's pretty entertaining.
Ball players, baseball players,
oh yeah,
all college baseball players are like that. I think they're kind of nuts in a good way.
It is in a good way, the rally hats and what they do, and playing pranks on each other in the dugout. Baseball's a long season. Each game's long. You got to keep it lively and have fun and keep smiling and enjoy that experience. Hey, Jim, when you brought up Cole Percival, I thought you were going to say, he's going to convert him into a catcher or something. You know what I mean? Like Troy Percival has a history of taking guys who are catchers into pitchers or pitchers into catchers or playing guys all over the field like Little League.
I guess he was a catcher at one point.
Was he, Cole?
Yeah, I think catcher, first base, I think Troy said or something like that. But,
Troy Percival.
He's doing high 90s, so.
He's got to pitch.
Yeah.
When you throw that hard, you got to be on the mound, right?
Yep.
What else are you working on, Jim? What else can you share with us right now?
You just wrote an article about the Winter Olympics, I believe.
I did. Tammy Gamble, who is the coach out at Riverside Icetown, LA Kings Icetown in Riverside. And 3 of the skaters that she works with are in the Winter Olympics.
Really?
Karen Chen, who was the 3rd-place finisher at the National Championships this year after winning it last year. Vincent Zhao, who I think was either 2nd or 3rd in the men's category. And then Yaroslav, I hope I pronounce this correctly. I think it's Pagno, who is from the Ukraine.
Ukraine, not weak.
That sounds about right.
She started coaching him the first part of last year. So 3 of her skaters are there, and then a 4th, Brandon Carey, who is from Australia. And she had been coaching him up until November, and he changed coaches. He went with a Russian coach, but he's in the competition. He'll be in the competition for Australia.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah, how do they find the coaching in Riverside? You know what I mean? Like they're coming from all over the world, and they're coming right here in the Inland Empire. Like how does this even happen?
She's got a pretty good reputation. I mean, she's coached for forever.
Yeah.
Over 30 years, and it's one of those things where it's kind of built up steam because she was coaching age group champions and sort of moving up the ladder. And Karen Chen last year was her first senior national champion. And last Olympics she had 1 Olympian, Brendan Carey. And in fact, it was funny, and I wrote about it in today's paper. She was talking about how she marched in the opening ceremony because, I mean, if you are affiliated with Team USA, there are only so many spots.
Yeah.
And
A lot of athletes.
You might, the administrator's got to get those spots, right?
Yeah.
So, that's some suit marching in there. But she was able to march with the Australians 4 years ago in Sochi. And the way she described it, the energy in the stadium and everything, she says, walked halfway around the track to our seats, and I just wanted to keep going. I wanted it to continue.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to lose that moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, so that's got to be, and I don't know if she marched yesterday. She might not have. But it's just an amazing deal.
Well, ice skating has been a big part of the Inland Empire for decades. I mean, the Olympic skaters used to train up in Blue Jay on a regular basis. You could go up there and see Michelle Kwan. You could see any Dorothy Hamill would be up there teaching students. It was pretty cool as a kid. We'd go up and watch these things. And on any given day, you'd see an Olympian or an ex-world champion. It was a great experience, and I think it still continues up.
Well, I think they closed Ice Castle a few years ago. I guess there were economic issues or what have you. I mean, she coached at Ice Castle for a while. She lives in Redlands. For a while, she was coaching out in Palm Desert at what I call a skinny rink. It was not a full-sized rink in the middle of a shopping mall. And
I remember that one.
She's coaching
I remember that one.
group skaters out there. And she was talking about how the rink here in Riverside opened 20 years ago. And she comes out there, and there's no ice. That they haven't even installed the rink yet. They're still building it. And she says, "Can I coach?" And they said yes, and it's been a pretty good relationship ever since.
Nice.
Hey, do you know who Kayla Barnes is? Has that name popped up to you?
I have heard that name. I saw it yesterday. Evidently, she is supposedly from Eastvale. Eastvale is her hometown.
That's what she listed as, right?
But she went to high school back in the Northeast.
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Yeah, and then Boston College, and then she got picked for the U.S. Women's Olympic hockey team. So she's in South Korea with them. And I saw that Eastvale, and so I did.
We saw it too, and we're like, okay, well, she went to high school back east. I don't know, maybe she was born, in a hospital, born here, and then she was out of here for whatever reason.
Except that when she was born, I don't think Eastvale even existed.
It wasn't a town yet, right? Yeah. Says she's the smallest and the youngest member of the women's U.S. national team for women's hockey. Yeah. You know what? So you try to do all the local Olympians who are in the Winter Olympics. You might have missed one. There's a curling expert that just missed out on Team USA. If you need a
Pep Fernandez in his youth was a professional curler. He could throw stuff.
That close to making team. No, it wasn't.
That's not the kind of stones he's ever thrown. I'll tell you what, though, because my wife and daughter are sitting there last night, and they've got the TV on, and they're watching ice skating. They're watching the team competition in the figure skating. And I got my iPad, and I'm watching the curling on MSNBC, and I'm switching back and forth between that and the Lakers and USC. So
there's a lot going on.
We had everything covered in our house last night.
Jim, can you hold around for one more segment?
I absolutely can.
Let's take a break because I want to ask Jim also about a situation that unfolded. What's the big Boston newspaper, the Herald?
Well, the Globe is
the Globe,
the big paper. The Herald is the scrappy underdog.
Did you hear what happened with the reporter out there?
No.
Oh man, this is good. I'm gonna I'm gonna ambush Jim here and see what he would do in this situation. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So stick it here. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Brought to you by the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the Ad Council.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you got to do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Hey, Jeff, I think we're pushing some buttons out there because remember we were talking about football and whether the government needs to step in and say, you can play tackle football or not, remember?
Like China.
Yeah.
Like
hey, hold on.
Like the commies.
Lucy's very sweet.
Yeah,
very nice.
I'm sorry that one of your daughters is a communist.
Oh, my gosh. Very sweet. Even though she eats old dried mother sauce.
Yeah, old dried mother sauce and duck neck.
Yes, and duck neck.
Yeah.
But we were talking about... Yeah, it's true. I didn't try it, but it's true. So remember, the Southern California Football Coaches Association has that Twitter poll out there, which we encourage everyone to go out there and vote because I guess there's some bill in California where they want to ban tackle football at the youth level.
Until they're 15,
remember we compared it like soda, like trying to ban soda, like, oh, you know what? Do we need the government to come in and say don't drink soda or don't play football? So our good friend Vinny Fazio, of course, always has a take. All things football related. We'll ask Jim the same thing. But here's Vinny Fazio's take. The decision to play football is an important one that should be well-researched and thought out by every family. However, make no mistake, this is and should be a family decision and not one for the government. Do I really need the government to tell me your kid can play tackle football or not? I think Jim's like, this is like a pitch meeting for Jim right now in future columns. That's a good question, though, right? Like, if there's a bill out there that they want to ban tackle football in California?
Well, for what ages? What ages are we talking
I don't know what they consider youth.
I think it's up to 14.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, until you're a freshman. I think the biggest problem, and I've said this, is I think that youth coaches aren't trained well enough to teach properly how to tackle, how to play the game of football. And I wouldn't mind if somebody stepped in and taught them how to coach, because a lot of times you have a dad who's coaching. I'm going to coach my kid. And they're not teaching kids properly how to tackle. And you don't want knee injuries. You don't want head injuries. You don't want any injuries if you can prevent them. You are going to have some, but it would be nice if somebody could teach these coaches how to coach these youth.
I would be more comfortable with it if there was a system set up where all coaches had to be certified.
I agree.
Which meant you have to go through a training program, not only how to coach football, but how to recognize head injuries or sports training sort of things. And I'm ambivalent because on the one hand, I really don't think young kids should be playing tackle football. I think they should be playing flag up until at least around 12.
Yeah, and
just for safety reasons. And just because of that, because there aren't enough qualified coaches.
I agree.
And make the coaches go through a training program and get a certification, get a license, sort of like soccer, where you have to get a license in order to coach. I don't see why you can't do the same in football.
And flag football is kind of, in a sense, is where pro and college and high school football is going now. I mean,
like the 7-on-7 stuff.
It really is. Yeah. And I think that you can still teach the game of football through flag. I mean, the Park and Recs in the 70s here in Riverside was a huge, huge, huge system that they played flag football, and everybody I knew played flag football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my grandson played flag a few years ago out in Moreno Valley, and he loved it, but he doesn't really have any desire to play tackle.
Do I think? Yeah, it's a good learning ground.
Do you think if they play flag football, they won't be prepared for when the time has come to get hit when they're 15, 14 though?
No, I just think, like you said, I think there needs to be regulations, certifications on coaches to teach these kids right. And a lot of times these coaches, and you read these on the Twitter sphere and social media, is you have these youth teams and they treat it like it's the world championship, and they're beating teams 84-0, 115-0. That's not teaching the kids as well as the coaches need to learn how to win with dignity, lose with dignity, and not ruin kids. If you want your sport to grow, you don't kill programs.
And that's not just football.
Any
youth
sport.
Coaches in all sports are like that, and I just look at it and I just shake my head. Some of the stuff that we hear about out of Little League or what have you.
Yeah.
It's just, and maybe coaches in all sports should be licensed.
I agree.
Well, if you feel inclined, make sure you go check out the Southern California Football Coaches Association's Twitter poll right now. Cast your vote. Basically, the root of the question is, do you want the government, or do you think it's okay for the government to step in and say, if your son or daughter wants to play tackle football, do we really need the government to step in and tell us that? The other thing, Jim, I wanted to ask you, because this happened this morning, and since you are the official columnist of the Inland Empire, so a guy at the Boston Herald got a scoop, big-time scoop, big news. Tom Brady was going to hold out. Remember Jimmy Garoppolo got the big contract from the 49ers, right? Did you read about that in the Press Enterprise? Mm-hmm. So Jimmy G got the big contract. So this guy at the Boston Herald got a scoop from Tom Brady's agent and said, hey, we saw the money that Jimmy G's getting. I want to give you the scoop. Tom Brady is going to hold out in the OTAs. He's not going to report to the Patriots because it's not fair that Jimmy G's getting all that money. So the Boston Herald columnist, he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I got to run with this. This is huge news. Come to find out, he was catfished. Do you know what the term catfished is?
Yes, I do.
So apparently, I don't know why, but this guy who was texting with the columnist came across as Tom Brady's agent, and he was believable. I guess he had like all this information that made it seem like he was legit. He went with the story. It was published. It was out there. And then come to find out, he's been suspended. It wasn't real. None of it's real. I don't know who the other guy was on the other line on the text messages.
Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
But you know what? There is an old adage in the newspaper business, in our industry. It says, if your mother says she loves you, check it out.
Yeah.
So
Confirm
just
it.
because somebody texts you and says they're Tom Brady's agent, well, that's on him.
Yeah,
That's on him
he's been
for being a
suspended.
dummy.
Yeah,
and I'll bet the guys at the Boston Globe were having a big laugh over that.
Their rival, right? Yeah, they probably were.
Absolutely.
I mean, because he thought, oh my gosh, I just got the scoop of the century. Like, I'm going to make my name on this one.
Now
he did. He made his name.
He's writing for the banner at Cal Baptist.
No, I don't think they'd have him either. Have you ever had a story that you thought was too good to be true? Like going back to all your years of reporting, do you ever get something, someone like drops in your lap, hey, Jim, you won't believe this, but this just happened. You thought, you know what? I better ask 2 or 3 other people to confirm this because this is too good to be true. Anything come to your mind?
Yes. Well, there are a lot. But one story I will tell, and this is years and years and years ago, when there was talk that Riverside might get a minor league baseball team. This is way back. This is like in the mid-'70s. And they were talking about bringing a AAA team.
Oh, big time.
And it turned out to be a lot of smoke and not much fire. But the city manager, somebody in city government had said, we're going to send a delegation to the winter meetings that year. I think they were in Florida. So I wrote it. Unfortunately, they changed their minds and they didn't tell me. So I write this story about, well, Riverside's going to be sending these particular people to the winter meetings, and then I got a call. No, they decided not to because they've.
So you had to do a follow-up?
Yeah. So once that happens, you learn.
Yeah. You learn the hard way, right?
You learn the hard way.
But was there any other, was there a huge story that actually was true that you remember someone dropped in your lap? You're like, this is too good to be true. Of course, as a journalist, you go find other sources to confirm it or get it from the horse's mouth, right? But was there anything real? Jeff's like nodding. Is there anything real big and juicy out there? Any stories that you broke? You probably broke a lot of stories in your day, but is there one in particular, like, man, that one felt good? Like you beat everyone to the punch and it was a huge story.
I can't really think of one right now.
But when Jeff Gorham got the Novi basketball job, that was a big one.
Yeah, it was like, hey, do you want to coach? All right, Jerry, sounds good.
Nobody had that one. Nobody saw that coming.
No.
Jeff was probably directly texting Jim, hey, I got the job. You want to break that news?
No, I was
very big.
I was told you better coach or we're going to find another place for you to work. Okay, I'm in.
All right, Jim, we always appreciate the time. We got the Percival thing coming up. What else is coming up for you?
I will do something on the TV people tomorrow night at the Cal Baptist game. Their Fox Sports West is going to be out and do that game. And it's interesting to me because they've come out and done Cal Baptist games the last couple of years in that tiny gymnasium where there's absolutely no accounting for technology. I mean, it's you run wires and now they're going to be in this place that's
state of the art.
State of the art technology and plug and play and all this.
Built for broadcast, right?
So,
like
yeah,
it
built
looks
for broadcast.
ideal for broadcast.
So I'm interested to see how that experiment goes, and we're gonna pop our head into the truck and see what comes out of it.
And I'm sure you already know this, but the Open Division semifinals for the high school will be there too.
That's next Saturday.
The 24th.
No, it's 2 Saturdays from now.
Yeah,
okay.
the 24th.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that, and that's sort of what I think that's sort of the limits of what CBU wants to do. I mean, because from the moment that they talked about building this arena, their idea was that, well, we're going to have enough on-campus events that we don't really need to seek out off-campus stuff or
concerts or games or something.
Stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. But I think the CIF events are something that they will make a strong exception for because they're family-friendly events, the sort of thing that works at CBU.
I always hope that they would bring back the Raincross tournament at CBU. I think that would be a really good.
I do too. I mean, we've talked about that off and on. I did a thing, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, kind of a remembrance of the old tournament and the atmosphere there, and it was great. And obviously, CBU is the place that's best equipped to run something like that now. So if it is ever to come back, that would be the place to do it. You would have to do it that week between Christmas and New Year's. And I know that I know that a couple years ago when I talked to Mike Barty at North, he said, if they did it, we'd be willing to come back. So, and there may be some other coaches out there that feel the same way.
I think so.
It might be time to resurrect that idea.
Well, coming up on Monday on the Inland Sports Show at 3 o'clock, we've already booked Dr. Micah Parker, the Director of Athletics at CBU. We're going to talk everything about the rivalry with UC Riverside, the transition to Division I, and Jeff and I we're going to put.
He will tell you there's no rivalry.
Yeah, is that the answer?
We are not paying attention to UCR.
They're doing their own thing,
but
staying on their side of the freeway.
I think the idea though is they want to play UCR and everything.
I think so. I think we all want it too, right?
It would be a great thing for the city, and it'd be a great thing for the entire inland region.
Yeah.
And then we also have Mike Barty coming in next week as well.
Yeah, Mike Barty from JW North. So we're going to have some big names next week. Jeff, we're going to put our little brains together. We got to come up with a way to get CBU football. Remember, we got to come up with a plan. So when he's in here on Monday, we can lay it out for him and say, hey, we figured it all out. We're bringing football to Cal Baptist.
You already have CBU football. They call it soccer.
Football.
That's kickball. Kickball.
Jeff calls it kickball. Jim, we always appreciate the time. And again, when's Troy's Percival come out? Sunday? Sunday, the Press Enterprise.
Sunday morning.
Jim, we appreciate it. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Yeah, thank God it's
back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, going strong on a Friday. Every single day of your life, 3 to 6 p.m. But it's a Friday. We're going into the weekend. You got nothing to do but listen to the Inland Sports Show as we get you set for a big weekend of sports. And if you think about it, Jeff, we're coming off a big week of sports with National Signing Day and the NBA trade deadline. The Lakers making moves. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl. And we got the Winter Olympics. Nobody covers the Winter Olympics like the Inland Sports Show.
Yeah, in fact, right now, curling is going on.
Right now, USA against China?
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Oh, it's split the Fernandez house.
Oh, yeah. Pep Fernandez is communist, cute communist.
No, I'm all stars and stripes. I'm all red, white, and blue.
Yeah, but your daughter, though, she's all for China. So tonight, are you going to go home and you guys going to fight about this?
I'm going to say, Lucy, did you know who won the curling battle between the U.S. and China? You know what she's going to say? Is the Winter Olympics going on? Like, she's going to have no idea.
What if she goes, yeah, I do know. And then she's going to say, let's make another wager on another China-USA thing, and you can eat duck neck.
Oh, the loser. Well, see, she'd want to lose then because she'd want to eat the duck neck.
Or sweat from those workers that are making
dry. You got to eat rice with old dry mother on it.
Old dry mother, which is really, it's like I said, it's the kids that are making your Nikes right now. It's the sweat from those 8-year-olds.
Sad.
And they put it in these glass bottles, and that's what they're drinking and eating over there.
Well, we don't want to tarnish the tradition and the spirit of the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, but we are taking on China right now. Is it right now in curling?
Right now, but there's no. I don't understand.
I need some updates.
I don't know how to update this darn thing.
Of all the sports in the Olympics, because I was so close to making the U.S. national team in curling, that's why I want to know what's going on.
Matt and Becca Hamilton. They're a married couple.
They are?
Yeah, they have the same last name unless there's two Matt or brother. Maybe they're brother and sister.
Hermana.
Can you find out over there, Colin? Matt and Becca, Becca Hamilton, curling champions from the United States. They're siblings. Whoa, brother and sister. I played. Hey, you ever play bocce ball?
Yes.
Bocce ball is the greatest game ever right now.
It's kind of like curling.
Kind of. I'm undefeated.
Are you?
Yeah.
How many times you play? Once?
No. My father-in-law has a bocce ball court in his backyard.
We're gonna have to go.
The wealthy guy. Yeah, he's super wealthy. He's got bocce ball.
Oh, yeah. Lawn bowling, bocce ball, like that kind of. Yeah, that's for the rich.
Yeah, but I'm undefeated, and I always take their money. We gamble. I do. I'm a bocce ball champ.
Oh, well, if we can get an update for the United States and China, because, again, this is not a spoiler-free show. We're gonna say it. We're going to say it a bunch of times so everybody knows what's going on. We're not going to wait because.
I don't know how to do this. It's not working.
Come on, figure it out, bro.
It says 405.
Intern Cullen, can you figure this out for him?
I want to know who.
I don't care about Finland against Norway or Canada against Switzerland. It's about Lithuania.
Lithuania?
After they moved to Lithuania, like after they moved the country, I'm not into it anymore.
They moved it.
Somebody moved it from like the middle of Europe up to near Sweden.
Did you know that Lonzo? Have we talked about this? That there's going to be 4 Bs.
Wait, there's going to be 4 Bs?
Yeah.
Big baller brand
baby.
Oh, baby. Lonzo Ball's going to have a baby?
Lonzo Ball's girlfriend is going to have a baby.
Oh, my gosh.
So Larry Ball's going to be a grandpa.
Grandpa Ball.
And he's going to be yelling. He's going to play in that league. He's playing in that league that no one wants to play in, the high school league.
Oh, man. Well, they better get cracking and have enough kids to fill that league up.
Yeah, no one. They invited 100 players from the United States, and they said, hey, you want to play in this league and bypass your college education? And not one person wanted to join it.
Are the Lakers better without Lonzo Ball? He's got a knee injury. He's missed 12 straight games, and the Lakers have gone on a run here.
Okay, I'm going to throw this out here.
Throw it out for the people.
You bring in IT. Is that what we call him?
Yeah, IT, boy.
You bring in IT.
Isaiah. The real Isaiah Thomas.
Lonzo has a knee injury, correct?
Yes.
Why not sit him out the rest of the year and develop that jump shot?
How about just get a jump shot?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because there's no J in Lonzo. Definitely. So, yeah.
Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. I would, honestly, you bring in a point guard that can score. Are you going to sit IT?
No.
Are you going to sit?
I'm going to play him.
I'm just going to make
48 minutes.
3-2. United States is over the commies.
Is it a final?
U.S. up. How long do matches last, for God's sake?
It's a battle. They start throwing the stones, and they start sweeping around.
It's got to last like 5 minutes. But serious. Oh, wait. Cullen writes, instead of halfway through, he goes, it's like halfway through.
It's like.
Hey, dude, it's like halfway through.
That's sports jargon, guys, for curling.
I would shut down. Do you not think that's a good idea? You bring in, because now if you do this, if you have to start IT and Lonzo comes back, you can't move Lonzo to a 2 because he can't shoot a lick. IT can't guard a soul. Neither one of those two guys can play defense.
I am all in on IT. I say you start him, you play him a lot, because you got to see, is he going to stick around?
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, is he just a rental?
He's a rental player.
But if you play him a lot and he performs well,
you sign him for a year-to-year basis, because he's injury prone.
Yeah.
He's going to be cheap. He's going to be on the cheap. But Lonzo Ball, that's the guy you went and drafted. Sit him out if he's injured. You don't want that strained knee to get injured again. Sit him out. Get somebody in there. Get Tracy Murray in there, back in the fold to work on that guy's jump shot.
Tracy Murray, your boy. Do you think he needs to straighten that out?
I'm going to tell you right now, Tracy Murray, they should have never got rid of him. He's the best coach for shooters I've ever seen. Get that guy back in the Laker fold. I know he's working for UCLA. He's working for ABC 7, but the guy can coach guys how to shoot. And Lonzo Ball needs Tracy Murray.
You know what's funny is, you worked with the Lakers the previous summer, right? In the spring, working out guys for the NBA draft.
Yes.
I wish you had worked the summer that Lonzo Ball came out last year. You could have worked out Lonzo Ball.
I would have worked him out and said, change this thing right now. Walk off the court when you can shoot,
leave.
Come back in. I mean,
leave.
He shoots across his face. It's just a horrible. I wish I could work with him. I could develop a jump shot for the big
maybe
baller
we can
brand.
make that happen. Maybe we could get Lonzo Ball and you together in the Norte Vista gym and work it out.
Work it out. Hey, but there is a guy we do know that's going to be on the show next week.
Who?
Clint Parks is the shooting coach and.
Can we talk about that?
We can talk about that.
Do it. Break the news, Jeff. This is big.
Clint Parks, a Riverside native, is now a big trainer for a lot of NBA players, but his biggest get right now is Kyle Kuzma. He's been working with him since the University of Utah, worked with him prior to the draft, and he has become probably in the top 3 rookies of this year in the NBA. He's going to be on our show next week.
Wait, hold on. The guy, Clint Parks or Kyle Kuzma?
Clint Parks is going to be on the show. Clint Parks is going to come in and he's going to talk about. He works with Ben McLemore right now, and he's going to give us the list of guys he works with, and he's going to kind of give us what's going on in the world of the NBA.
Let's get Kuzma too.
That would be awesome.
Bring Kuzma on the show. Be like, you hate Lonzo Ball, don't you?
Yeah. Have you seen Kuzma's pants though?
No, should I?
Oh my gosh, he's the worst fashion guy I've ever seen.
You mean like off the court, the way he dresses?
Oh yeah,
no, I haven't seen that.
It's it's gross, it's terrible, and I'm gonna bring it up with Clint Parks.
These guys have too much money to just like waste all their money on bad clothes. The guy that comes to mind, of course, is Russell Westbrook, Russ.
It's similar to that.
What are you doing, dude? Come on.
He's wearing my 5-year-old's jeans. They're really tight. It's an embarrassment. Kyle Kuzma can play, but he needs to work on his dress.
All right, so Tuesday, we'll talk to Clint Parks, who works out Kyle Kuzma, and maybe we can ask him to give him some fashion advice as well. He's a young guy. Just steer him in the right direction.
Yeah, we're going to bring that up, definitely. And he's going to be on at 4 o'clock hour on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll talk to him. Also about my guy, McLemore, former Sacramento King.
Yeah,
out of Kansas, former Jayhawk.
Now I believe he's playing for the Grizzlies.
The Grizz.
The Grizz. That's what we have to call it.
They've fallen on hard times. They're not as good as they once was.
No,
that's
not at
all. So real quick, if you're looking at the Western Conference standings right now, New Orleans, the Pelicans, minus Run DMC, DeMarcus Cousins, they are currently in the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference with a record of 28-25. Right below them, just a rung below them and right on their heels, the Clippers at 27-25, and then 5.5 games back, the Lakers at 23-31. Now, we would all like to think that adding Isaiah Thomas to the fold is only going to help the Lakers, right? He's a big-time scorer if he's healthy.
Yes.
Can the Lakers, how many teams are between them? So So it's the Clippers in the 9th spot.
There's two between
Then the
them.
Jazz and the Lakers. So the Lakers only have to leapfrog the Jazz and the Clippers and knock the Pelicans out at number 8. Right?
Well, they have a shot. They're 8.
Greg already called it. He's like, it's done.
Got it.
IT time, baby.
They're 8-2 the last 10, and you said 12 of 14. They're playing really good basketball. You know, it's the good thing about this Laker team is they're not playing for a world championship. They might want to play for a playoff spot because it gets them experience. You always talk about that experience in the playoffs.
Didn't Larry promise?
Larry
Playoffs.
promised.
Grandpa Ball.
Yeah, Grandpa Ball.
Papa
Playoffs.
Ball.
He also said they wouldn't lose 2 in a row or whatever he said. Remember that? But
Playoffs.
the good thing is you get these guys experience playing in the playoffs. They're young guys. You've lost some players, but you know you have Ingram, who's going to get some a lot of playing experience. Julius Randle's going to get more playing time, obviously because of the trade. And you have guys that are actually playing really hard, and they're going to gel. And that might lure some of these big name guys like LeBron James, Paul George,
LeBron.
Yeah, so there could happen.
The Lakers will play on the road at the Dallas Mavericks on Saturday, so it'll likely be 5 wins in a row for the Lakers because Dallas is the worst team in the NBA, at least in the Western Conference.
Yeah, how does that happen? Mark Cuban.
The worst. Don't even put Sacramento and Dallas together because look at that. Dallas has 2 more losses than Sacramento.
That's true.
Don't even compare those two. It's like apples and oranges.
Now, how far have they? I mean, seriously, Mark Cuban always said, "Oh, we're always gonna be in the fold." They're not in the fold. Obviously, they kept Dirk Nowitzki, and he's like a senior citizen.
Yeah,
he's like an ancient.
He's still at what? He still goes for what? About a dozen a game, like 12 a game, maybe.
But he moves like I do.
Cuban's got so much money.
Yeah,
like why? Dallas shouldn't be bad, right?
No, they got a great arena. They got a great place to live. They're just not attracting guys. They're 2-8 their last 10, and they're falling quick.
Yeah, they're bad. So that's a good sign for the Lakers because the Lakers will play at Dallas on Saturday. And again, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They've won 12 of their last 16. So the Lakers are actually playing at a really high level. And again, most of that 16-game stretch without Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, exactly.
And here comes IT. In fact, I wonder if Isaiah Thomas will make his debut in Dallas. Probably will, right?
When are they playing Dallas here?
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Probably Saturday night.
If they pass physicals, and that's always kind of the deal. What is Cleveland going to do? Cleveland only has 6 guys on their roster until everybody passes their physical. They could have 6 guys playing.
That's where you go to the G League. You go down to the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. And you get some guys. I don't know. It's a real team. I don't know if it's an affiliate of Cleveland though. Intern Cullen, who's the D? I still call it the D League. That's where it's at. Who's the D League affiliate for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Because there's gonna be some guys getting the call. 10-day contract, man. Go to straight to the Mad Ants.
Here we go. We got
Cleveland's playing right now against Atlanta. Who's playing?
Let's see here. Holy cow! They have a guy named Parantes. Never heard of him. They got a guy named Holland.
Osman.
Zizic. Zizic. Isn't that the road going to Vegas?
Yeah, it is.
You have Kyle Korver, Green, Smith, Calderon, Thompson.
Wait, how did J.R. Smith not get traded? Of all the guys, like he and Tristan Thompson.
Oh,
Is there Tyrell Lue?
Oh, Lue could suit up, man.
Yeah, you should.
He's got some gray hair, but I bet you could ball still.
Yeah, why is Tristan Thompson still on that team? He's infected.
J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson should have been out.
He's infected. You know what he's infected with?
The Kardashian
he's
curse.
Infected with the Kardashian
curse, man. It's real. Like Curse of the Black Pearl. There's a sign. Do you have the affiliate, Cullen?
Yes.
Who's the D League affiliate for Cleveland?
The Canton Charge.
Oh, that's a new team. I don't know them. The Canton Charge. I thought it was the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. Although I think Fort Wayne's the Indiana Pacers. That's where Ike Anigbogu from Centennial High School played.
Ike Anigbogu.
Okay, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM, we'll talk more local hoops. And if Jeff wants to, we'll go back into the curling game because it is in the spirit of the 2018 Winter Olympics from South Korea. Nobody covers the Winter Olympics like the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Yeah.
Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Sounds like you have mental problems, man.
Yeah, you got mental problems, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Man.
Afternoon delight.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Cora.
Got a little tainted love going on here in the Inland Sports Studio. We are here every single weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1350 a.m. We are here. We have Pep Fernandez on the road as he's headed to a big game in the Inland Empire. Pep, are you there?
Yeah, en route to Cajon High School, home of the Cowboys, big-time basketball, a CIF championship favorite, and one of our favorites because we know they love the show. Every time I go to a Cajon basketball game, the Merman, head coach Randy Murray, keeps talking about, hey, man, thanks for talking about Cajon basketball. Hey, we appreciate it. You guys are really good.
Well, you know why they call him Randy Merman, right? I've told you this before. He's got webbed feet.
Yes, he's really good at water polo.
He's great at water. He can swim forever, and he doesn't even get tired because of those webbed toes. So yeah, tonight when you see him, tell him Gorham said that he was Randy Merman and he has webbed feet.
He's a real live Aquaman.
Yes, he is. Hey, Pep, I'm not going to be here on Monday. What are you going to do without me?
I don't know. What am I going to do without you, Jeff? Where are you going?
We are connected at the hip. We've been connected for a long time here on the Inland Sports Show. Listen to this. We know the old Smedberg stories. She has sets up a birthday party for Fast Johnny on Super Bowl Sunday. Big faux pas, right?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay, it gets better with the Smedberg stories here. So she says to me, hey, we got a week off next week from school. We're going to go on vacation. I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to go out. We're going to be gone for a while. I might be hanging out in Hawaii or somewhere warm where I can drink Mai Tais and my kids can play and eat dirt. Nope. You know what the Smedberg did?
What?
We are flying to northern Colorado, Steamboat Springs. It's like 55 feet of snow.
What's in Steamboat Springs?
There's not a whole lot of anything. I will say this: a couple of my buddies live there. One of our closest friends. But we're gonna go up there. We're gonna snowmobile. We're gonna go to some hot springs in Steamboat Springs. Apparently, we have to bring swim trunks. It's gonna be below zero. We're gonna be swimming around. But here's the kicker. I'm flying with a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. And you know what that's like, Pep?
Jeff, no, I don't, because when my kids were that little, just like planning a party on the Super Bowl, I was smart enough to say, no, we're not going to fly with little kids.
Oh, well, Smedberg, here's the deal. Oh, I forgot this one. This caveat. We're flying out tomorrow, right? We go on a 2.5-hour plane ride, and then we take a 4-hour taxi drive, like an Uber, and we drive 4 hours. We hang out with my friends for a part of the night, a whole day, and then we fly back on Monday.
That's a quick trip, man. You're barely gone.
It's horrible. It's not a vacation. I'm going to be tired and stressed because when you take kids, and I picture this. Picture your really good buddy. Picture me, okay? Picture me, and I call you at 2:30 in the morning.
You right now.
You're picturing me? Okay, picture if I call you at 2:30 in the morning. I just been on a bender. I mean, I'm just stinking drunk. I'm at the bar. I'm tossing back beers, and I don't drive when I drink. I call up Pep Fernandez. And Pep, you have to physically grab me and my giant physique and take me to your car, and then you have to walk me into my house, and then you have to take off all my clothes and put me in bed. Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh, so far? That is exactly.
It sounds awful.
It sounds like the same thing. I have a 1-year-old who runs around like a maniac and can't sit still, and I have a 5-year-old, Fast Johnny, who's crazy. It's like taking 2 drunk people on an airplane and making sure they get out alive.
Dude, that sounds like a headache the whole time. Like, I feel bad for you. It's such a quick trip, and all you're going to do is be chasing your kids around the whole time. And again, you're going to be in 55 feet of snow.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough, man. And I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing my friends. I'm looking forward to making Smedberg happy. But, man, I'm going to be the one lugging stuff around, corralling kids. It's just going to be a nightmare. But I'll get through it, and I'll be back Tuesday so that you and I can do the show. We got some big guests coming up next week as well.
Yeah, you talked about Mike Barty from JW North. And, again, it'll be just in time to talk a little JW North basketball before they go into the CIF Southern Section playoffs. And we'll also have your boy Clint Parks, who's been working with Kyle Kuzma and some other NBA guys. That'll be fun. So while you're gone, again, we've got a whole hour freed up from 3 to 4 p.m. on Monday with Cal Baptist University's Director of Athletics, Dr. Micah Parker. So we're gonna touch everything coming up on Monday, again, between the CBU and UCR rivalry and the transition to Division I and all the success they've had at CBU at the Division II level. And I even told them I was going to ask them about CBU football, that you and I were going to come up with a plan to get the Lancers football. So he's ready for that one, too.
Well, good. I want football to come to the IE, a 4-year program. I want the games played at Ramona High School because I want to go to all of them. Being a former Lancer, I would love to see football, and we're going to get it because we are the Inland Sports Show, the most powerful news media outlet in the Inland Empire.
So you're a former Lancer and a former Ram. It'd be like full circle for you having CBU and Ramona coming together.
If I could do it, maybe I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, man, if you were the voice, the instrumental guy in the middle to bridge all this together between CBU and football and Ramona High School, yeah, you would go into the Hall of Fame. Or not.
Yeah, or not. I prefer that every year that, when that phone, I'm waiting for the phone call, and I'm expecting John Tibbles to call me and say, you know what, Jeff, you or your brother or your dad, you guys, my dad made the Hall of Fame. Maybe, Jeff, you'll get your call. But then I think, that's never going to happen.
Probably not. I would not wait by your phone. Plus, you won't have very good reception in Colorado anyway. So if the call came this weekend, you wouldn't get it.
Well, hey, we have a big game going on right now. Besides the curling between the communist China and the United States, we have a big game. We have Blake Griffin and the Detroit Pistons are playing the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, and hey, we got another big game. We got Cal State Fullerton taking on Rutgers in softball. We've got a Taylor Dawkins update. She's gone 6 innings. She has given up no runs, a big 0, and only 3 hits allowed. So she is dominating in the circle for the Titans today, which is awesome to see.
Well, it's nice when you're the National High School Player of the Year and the best friend of our show. In fact, I look at it. My wife and I, we have 3 boys. But I always say that Taylor Dawkins is the lone Gorham girl because she's toughest girl I know. She plays so hard, and she's just the most inspirational kid in the entire world.
Yeah, always with a smile on her face. You know what I mean? Like, always so positive, always upbeat. Even for old guys like us, we can look at her and be like, you know what? I'm learning something from her. You know what I mean? I'm taking something away because, Jeff, you and I, we're grumpy. We're always like negative, and we don't appreciate things. But you look at someone like Taylor Dawkins, and you kind of get a new outlook on life.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and we genuinely love her here at the Inland Sports Show. But let's go back to this Detroit Pistons, Blake Griffin, and they are winning 56-52 over the Clippers. Blake Griffin only with 9 points, though.
Detroit was already a borderline playoff team in the Eastern Conference. And it's funny, so Blake Griffin, his running mate, I guess you'd say in the front court for the Pistons, is Andre Drummond, which, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, Andre Drummond and DeAndre Jordan are kind of like the same guy.
Yeah, they're similar. I mean, you look at what they have in Detroit is basically the same makeup as what Blake Griffin did in L.A. when you had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. Now over in Detroit, it's similar. Think about it. You have a poor man. I know he's not playing, but you have a poor man's Paul with Reggie Jackson. You have Drummond, and then you have Blake Griffin, which is essentially the same team. They just moved to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, when we were riding around Hawaii with the UC Riverside basketball team, I was in the car with Coach Bell, and it was Brandon Rosser, James Jackson, and Johnny Kennedy. And these guys, I mean, they're all basketball freaks. I mean, they love basketball. Brandon Rosser loves all the sports, as we heard yesterday. He loves all the sports. But They all love NBA basketball. So we got back into the car, and they were talking about the NBA, and they were talking about DeAndre Jordan. And I asked them all, I just put the question out there. I'm like, who would you rather have? Who's better, DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond? Because I kind of feel like they're the same guy. Like Blake Griffin kind of got the same kind of, center or a power, whatever you want to describe them. He's kind of got the same guy next to him, whether it was DeAndre Jordan with the Clippers or Andre Drummond with the Pistons. And it was kind of split. Like, there wasn't a clear-cut answer. Like, they could make a case for both of those guys, even though, again, in my eyes, and I'm no basketball expert, I kind of feel like they're the same exact guy.
Yeah, and if you look in the Eastern Conference, I mean, there's really a couple teams that stand out. You look at the Western Conference, and there are so many teams, I think, that outstack the Eastern Conference. But if you do look in the East, Detroit's right kind of there in the mix. I mean, they have a shot to win 9 games. I was looking at their schedule. 9 solid wins here before they end up playing some pretty good teams. But other than the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics, there isn't much out east.
No, you know what? If you could, I wish we could just write off the Eastern Conference and just let the Western Conference playoffs play out, because that's going to be the NBA championship. In fact, the Western Conference semifinals and finals will be better than what you see in the East, the whole way through. Like, the Western Conference is where it's at. I know it's like a pendulum. It's going to swing back and forth. The Eastern Conference, they had Michael Jordan. They had the Detroit Pistons. They had that great run with the Boston Celtics, the Big Three with Doc Rivers. But right now, it's all out west. Like, honestly, I don't even keep an eye on the Eastern Conference right now, because to me, it doesn't even matter who comes out. It's all about the West. You can pick 4 or 5 teams, maybe 6 teams out west that are all better than the teams in the East.
Yeah, in the West, I mean, the Western Conference is a completely different animal. It's a stretch 94-foot basketball game. You have the Warriors, who are perennial power. They have a lack of a bench this year. You have the Houston Rockets, which are really playing on all cylinders. James Harden's probably having the best season of anybody in the last 15 years as far as scoring the basketball. He's not getting as many rebounds as Russell Westbrook did last year, but he's scoring the basketball in bunches. He has Chris Paul in that backcourt with him. They're a pretty dangerous team, but they're 4-1 against Golden State so far in this, almost to the halfway point before we get to the All-Star break. Like you said, the West is going to be an incredible playoff scenario when it plays out.
Yeah, and just looking at the Western Conference standings, okay, you got the top 3 teams who have kind of separated themselves from everybody else in the NBA. We're talking about Golden State, talking about Houston and San Antonio. Those 3 teams, even just record-wise, they've separated themselves from the pack. They're head and shoulders above everybody else. Then you have that second tier of Western Conference teams led by Oklahoma City, and that's where I see the Eastern Conference kind of fits in. Like, that's comparable. They're about the same level. So you take those top 3 teams in the West, Houston, San Antonio, and, of course, Golden State. I think those 3 teams are better than anything you'll see in the East.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Pep, I know you are out on your way going to a big basketball game at Cajon High School, and we're going to take a break. We're going to wish you the best. Have a great weekend. Take care of our son, Cullen Holt, and I will bring you back a souvenir from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. I might bring you back a snowball.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is in Steamboat Springs besides snow? Like, I don't think I'm going to get anything very good. I brought you back some chocolate nuts from Hawaii.
I love your nuts. They were fantastic. Chocolatey.
Chocolate nuts.
Chocolate nuts. Your chocolate nuts were fantastic. No, I'll probably bring you back either a bag of dirt, a frozen dirt, or a snowball, if you're okay with that.
Oh, wow, you spoil me.
I figured I would. Well, Pep, you guys enjoy your night. We're going to take a short break, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines and see if anybody wants to talk Olympics with me. And then we might get Vinny Fazio on, and we're going to discuss this, I guess you'd say, law that might be coming into effect about junior tackle football. So we will be right back.
Jeff,
yes.
And Jeff, make sure you ask Vinny the fact that he tweeted at one of the lawmakers. Like, so he's very passionate about it. He tweeted at them and said, hey, you can't do this.
He is a big political guy, that Vinny Fazio. I'm always reading his tweets. He's very, very political.
President Fazio.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for him as long as he wears his bow tie. I'm in. I'm all in for Fazio in 2000. What year are we in? 2020? was that the next election, 2022? When is that? Come on, Cullen.
I think it's 20.
I'm all in. Vinny Fazio. And then we're going to have, we'll have Greg on the ticket as vice president.
That sounds perfect.
All right, buddy. Well, you have a good weekend. And we will be right back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports, 1350 a.m. Bye, Pep.
Adios.
Thank God it's Friday.
But I see you gonna get up in there, clean up all that mess and make them tacos, right?
I'm a cook, I'm a clean.
That's
You
right.
put it down.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk through the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
This time of year, I don't have kids, I have eligible dependents. I'm not just a woman, I'm the head of household, and I don't file taxes. I file a 1099 with Schedule C and Form 5329.
back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital.
We are back here. I have Olympic fever on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 AM. We are in Korea right now. Not me personally, but we, the United States, we are in Korea. And I'm telling you right now, it's a heated battle of curling as we open day 2 of the 5,700th Olympiad of the Winter Games. The United States is battling the commies today. Communist China, the brother and sister team, is right now up. I don't know the score, but they're up. Hey, we're going to put out the phone line out there. See if anybody wants to talk Olympic fever with me. The phone line is 369-1350. If you have a take on curling, bobsledding, the skeleton, the biathlon, the triathlon, ice hockey, figure skating, you name it, let's talk it. Call in, once again, 369-1350. Let's talk Olympic fever. It appears we have a caller. Caller, who is this?
Greetings. It's the professor.
The professor. The professor is back. Professor, what are you a professor of?
The Pokemon.
Oh, that's right. You are the Pokemon expert. By the way, are you calling to talk Olympic fever with me, or are we going to talk Pokemon?
We can talk a little bit of both. Pyeongchang's got a lot of great Pokestops.
Pyeongchang.
But we can talk yes, but we can also talk the Winter Olympics. It's technically kicked off tomorrow. Actually, it was yesterday, but today's the opening ceremonies. Come out there.
Now, we're kind of in the future, aren't we? Since they're so far behind, they're halfway around the world. We're future. We're like time travelers here at the Inland Sports Show in the United States, as the United States right now is taking on the commies, as you'd say. But first of all, I want to ask this. Pokestops in South Korea. Is it a big game over there, or is it still a dominated sport by the United States?
It's pretty much the dominant sport of Pyeongchang and all of the South Korea. It doesn't happen in the North Korea. I don't even think they have the internet there, but in the South Korea, it's pretty dominant. You find it on every corner.
Okay, what would be some of the more famous Pokemon that we would find in South Korea?
Well, they just released a whole new batch of them today. So, let me check my sheets, and I can tell you. There's the Pikachu, but you can find the Pikachu everywhere. There's the Raichu, which is Pikachu's big brother. There's this Torchic that grows into like a disco dancing flamethrower. There's this worm guy that can transform into 2 different things. There's really a lot of Pokemons out there. It's in the Hoenn region where they've just released a lot of the new Pokemons. Then they got a weird one called Love Disc, which is a heart.
Whoa.
I don't understand.
What did you call
I don't
that?
understand. It's called Love Disc.
Love Disc. Okay, I got you. I was a little confused there for a minute. I dozed off and I went, what did he just say? What I thought? Love Disc. Okay, I got you.
No, I understand. This is PG for the radio. This is a family show.
Sometimes it's family, and then I get a little wacky, which I do tend to do, push the envelope a little bit. But I have a couple quick questions here. What's your favorite sport? Are you right now we're in a big game of curling. Are you a curling fan?
I've loved curling since I knew what curling was. That's what I played at Tire Tech College out there in Pennsylvania.
Up in Pennsylvania?
We were the Fighting Muskrats.
The Fighting Muskrats. Now,
yeah. Where
did curling originate?
Believe it or not, curling originated in Scotland.
Scotland?
I think Scotland. You wouldn't think it because of William Wallace and Braveheart, but there's Scotland, and that's where curling originated. They say that the Scottish are the ones that brought it to Canada. It's really taken over Canada. Everybody's like, oh, it's hockey night in Canada. It's curling all the time in Canada.
So is it on national TV?
I think it has its own channel.
There's a curling channel?
Yeah, it's got a CBS, Curling Broadcasting Station.
Now, what is the spirit of curling? You know, I'm new to the sport, but I'm into it now because anytime we face the communist countries, I'm into it. Tell me a little bit. What's the spirit of it?
Well, curling is really a gentleman's or a gentlewoman's game. It's really about respecting others, and a true curler would rather lose honorably than win by cheating. You know, so disputes and things like that can often be are handled by the skips who are like team captains.
Oh, so
here's another weird fact about the curling quickly. Teams are named after their captains. So, like, when I play, it'd be Team Birch.
Team Birch?
Yeah.
So, what would my team name be? Since I don't know if you know, I'm Jeff Gorham, or they call me the Big Jeezy. What would my team name be?
Well, you could be Team Jeff, you could be Team Gorham, you could be Team Big Jeezy. It all really depends on are you competing at the international level? Is this just some local drunken tournament? Are you just throwing rocks in a pond?
So what you're saying, is there money to be won in curling? Do they have a professional league?
Well, they have a World Curling Federation. It's not really, you know, you're not going to sign one of those Derek Jeter or Jimmy Garoppolo contracts for the world of curling, but you can make a couple of bucks. Or go support yourself at the local Tim Hortons.
At the local Hortons. Now, I'm really unfamiliar with some of the terms that, you know, I know that they have the stone, but what are some of the common curling terms that we can maybe teach the audience as they watch from the Korean Games of this Olympiad?
Okay, well, the first thing you have the sheet. Each game is played on one sheet of ice, like a sheet of paper, but it's a sheet of ice. It's 150 feet by 15 feet wide. And curling clubs, which is a thing, you know, I belong to like 3 of them. They generally have between 2 and 8 sheets of ice. So that's an important one. You play on the sheet.
Now, can you play this on a lake, or is the stone too heavy, like a frozen lake?
Well, it needs to be played on a frozen lake, and the stones are made of granite, so it could be heavy, and they can weigh up to 44 pounds.
So there's different weights.
There's a minimum of I believe it's 34 pounds and a maximum of 44 pounds. It's like throwing a small baby across the pond.
Now, do you have to wear a certain kind of shoe?
Yes, the shoes. They're similar to bowling shoes in that they've got that slick bottom.
Okay.
But I don't think Nike's making them.
Like Brunswick? More like a Brunswick shoe?
Yeah, it's probably like a Brunswick. You know, one of the shoes is the biggest difference between the curling shoe and the athletic shoes that you and I typically wear when we're hooping it up is that one of the shoes is going to have a flat textured rubber bottom for traction on the ice.
Okay.
And the other shoe is going to have a slider.
Oh.
You know, the sliders, yeah. The slider's on the left foot if you're right-handed, and on the right foot if you're left-handed.
And then they have that broom. Is it just like a everyday household broom?
Well, back in the olden days, and the rules of curling were first brought to light in I think it's 1830. The Scots again. They brought up the rules and said these are the official rules of curling. So the broom is used to sweep. You know, there's also a brush. But yeah, I guess you could use. You know, if your typical household broom is made of corn straw.
Corn straw.
Yeah, that's what usually the brooms are made of. You know, they're sweeped ice in front of the stones, swinging back and forth repeatedly. You've seen that, the little guy sweeping up.
Nice.
Like they're kings walking.
Nice. Now we're going to go back and delve into your curling. Have you ever picked up any chicks curling? What kind of ladies are out there watching these curlers?
You heard the phrase "curls are for the girls"?
I haven't.
Oh well, the curls is for the girls.
Now,
there's a really oh yeah, wow.
Are there groupies?
Heck yes, there's curling groupies.
And are they beautiful women? Are they what are these ladies like? What do they look like?
They're a winter 10.
A winter
a summer
10?
6.
Nice.
A winter 10, maybe a summer 6.
Well, Professor, I always enjoy when you call in. You're so knowledgeable. You know everything about the Pokemon. Now I know that you are an official member of the Curling Society, and we're going to keep in touch with you as these weeks go on and the curling and the Winter Olympiad. So anything, maybe we're going to have you call in next week and you can give us a little more updates.
Yes, I would love to do so. Just quickly, if I may,
yes.
There was already a controversy.
What's the controversy?
There was a controversy. The Chinese team was playing the Swiss team, and the Chinese player moved the rock with his hand. It's a big controversy.
Will it affect the medals race?
It could, because right now they're doing the co-ed curling teams, and the Swiss and China were playing to move into the semifinals, for that medal tournament.
Wow. Well, thank you for that update. We will be in touch with you, Professor. We always love hearing from you, and we will hear from you next week as we come back from the Inland Sports Show. Thanks, Professor.
Yes, thanks for having me on. Peace out.
That would be Professor Birch. He's calling in and gave us a little bit of a history of curling, and we will be right back. We have Vinny Fazio, the offensive coordinator at Los Osos High School, is going to call in, and we're going to talk about this legislature that's trying to get passed about youth tackle football, and we're going to get his take after these messages on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports 1350 AM.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
I'm walking down the street, minding my own business, just walking off, feeling good. I walk around the corner, man.
8? 8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
We are back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 IE. We are here every single weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. And today we are finishing up the week, and we have a nice discussion we discussed earlier about California legislation, if they're going to eliminate tackle football under this new bill being proposed by California lawmakers. Well, we have a special guest on the phone. It's the great Vinny Fazio, the offensive coordinator now of Los Osos High School. Coach Vinny Fazio, how you doing today?
I'm great, Jeff. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Congratulations. First of all, I haven't talked to you since you've taken the job at Los Osos, but congratulations on being back on the gridiron, and looking forward to seeing you this next season.
I appreciate it. I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you know, this bill has come across. We noticed that you had put something out on Twitter, and we always enjoy and appreciate your thoughts on high school and youth football. What are your take on this California bill that would eliminate tackle football until you reach high school level? What is your thoughts on this?
Well, I think I covered it. I covered it pretty good on Twitter, but to rehash, first of all, this is not a government issue. This is a parent issue. Parents can make these decisions for themselves. We don't need the government telling us this kind of stuff. The assemblywoman who's bringing the bill talked about comparing it to drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes. Listen, football provides a lot of benefits. We could go through all the benefits, and I did so on Twitter, but football changed my life for the better. Without football, I learned everything I know about toughness, about hard work, about goal setting, inclusiveness and diversity, working with different kinds of people, different races of people. I got all that through football, okay? Football helps socioeconomically disadvantaged kids. Who are the kids that you think are going to get hurt by this? It's the kids that are socioeconomically disadvantaged, that maybe don't have mentorship at home. Maybe their parents are working. Maybe they need somewhere to go so they can feel a sense of belonging. We don't want them turning to the wrong people. That's where football gets involved. Football is important for that. I'll take a kid, Kenny Clark. I hate to throw his name around, but Kenny Clark might not have been able to afford to go to college without being a football player. And maybe he doesn't become an NFL guy. Maybe he just becomes a teacher. Maybe he becomes Mr. Clark instead of somebody that isn't able to go to college and isn't able to afford it. Those are the kids that football helps. Now, is there a risk, Jeff? And I'm sorry if I'm talking too much.
No.
You could stop me.
No, I'm totally...
Is there a risk, Jeff? Yeah, there's a risk anytime you leave the house. Anytime, we could all be totally safe if the government just made us stay in our houses all the time and never leave. You'd be safe. But I wouldn't choose that quality of life. That's not my choice. That might be Representative Sanchez's choice. That might be Representative McCarthy's choice, and that's fine. I respect their choice. But they should respect my choice, which my choice would be to play football again if it were up to me. Now, I'm not saying my son's going to play football. He might not. I don't know what he's going to want to do. But if he wants to play football, that's up to him, and that's up to me. That's not up to the government telling them what to do. That's not their place.
Well, I agree 100% of what you just said. My only concerns would be, and being that, we both are parents of little young boys, is what are your thoughts with youth football coaches and the way that they're teaching these young men and young ladies now that are playing football? Do you think there needs to be some sort of regulations, not government regulations, but regulations on how to teach properly how to coach the game of football?
Absolutely. And I think those things are happening. I think with USA Football developing their pilot program, I think with the Heads Up football program, I think with the Hawk Tackle, these are all new technologies, all new techniques. We've only been thinking about this kind of thing for about 10 years, Jeff. Prior to that, nobody even thought about this stuff. All of the changes to make football safer, we're just in the infancy of that process. The game is safer now than it's ever been. The game is better now than it's ever been. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get safer. Do we need to make sure that kids are getting the best possible coaching? Sure, absolutely. We need to keep working on that as a game to keep our game safe. USA Football is trying to do that. They're efforting to do that, and what they're doing is right. And you listen, it's fair if parents have concerns. There have been injuries. There have been kids that have gotten hurt, but there have been kids that have gotten hurt in everything. So it's fair. Kids get hurt snowboarding. Kids get hurt playing baseball. Kids get hurt driving in the car to school in the morning. It doesn't mean the government outlaws those things.
Now,
parents need to make a decision. They can research it. The research is out there. Every parent, I think, should look and research and decide for themselves. Is this something that I want my family doing or not? And if they decide no, that's up to them. They're adult human beings. They can make those decisions. But to say that we need the government to make that decision for us, that's a very slippery slope when the government gets to start deciding what people can do. And we're not talking about unreasonable things. We're talking about reasonable things where there's two sides. And in football, there's a lot of good. The things I've said and even more, a lot of good to the game of football. And when the government starts telling us what we can and can't do, that's an awfully slippery slope. And that's not America in my mind. America means we have some freedom of choice, and we have the ability to make those decisions and do that research on our own.
Now, do you think the legislation was pushed, because of the politicians of the three letters that we've heard in the last decade, which is CTE? Do you think that was really the pushing point for these lawmakers to kind of bring this into the public's eye and view? Do you think that has been the biggest issue right now, is the head injuries that they're worried about for the youth?
Obviously, listen, the head injuries have been a big story for the last few years and gotten a lot of airtime. And I think very much can be debatable when you get into youth football, the amount of kinetic energy that's being distributed by youth football kids versus now when you're talking about NFL players, there can be a little bit of a difference there, certainly. But here's, in my opinion, politicians this is an opportunity for a couple of politicians to make a name for themselves. And it's a big issue that's out there all the time. And so here's an opportunity to get my name out there and advance my agenda. And let me talk about the Boston University study for a second. I tried to participate in the Boston University study. I did an 1.5-hour phone call with them. I didn't give them the information that they wanted. My data didn't fit their narrative. So they quit calling me. They quit returning my calls. So I'm not in the list, even though I did a 1.5-hour phone call with them, with the Boston University study. So people have to be really careful about the information that they're getting. Is there risk? Sure. There is. Absolutely. There's risk in everything. And that's for individual parents and individual people to make that decision about whether or not they think is worth it. To me, it's definitely worth it. The lessons I learned in football were definitely worth any kind of risk that I took on. And let me say another thing. I've never had any kind of issue with brain trauma or headaches or concussions or anything. I played a lot of football. So to me, I'm just talking to me now, the risk versus the rewards of football are so great that it's not even a question to me. But I don't get to make the decision for everybody. Everybody should make the decision for themselves. Likewise, the representatives of the state of California should not get to make this decision for everybody either. Everybody should make the decision for themselves. It should be up to the parents and to the kids and to the families sitting down and deciding on their own.
Now, what have you seen? And you've been around football your entire life, just as I've been around basketball my entire life. What have you seen? And I know it's really changed within the last couple of years, is the technology that goes into the making of these helmets, the making of the shoulder pads. What are the big differences that you've seen that have really kind of alleviated this, the CTEs, the major head traumas, the major injuries? It's really progressed a lot in the last few years, hasn't it?
I think certainly the helmet technology is advanced. And listen, I'm no expert. I've had guys come in and talk to me about helmet technology, but I think they're working on it. They have standards. The Virginia Tech study gave them some standards for how to develop better helmets, develop helmets that can better cushion blows. But more so than that, the techniques that coaches are teaching now to keep the head out of the game. You know, guys don't make helmet contact anymore if they can help it. I mean, that's something that years ago guys were hitting them with their heads. You were leading with your head. That's not taught anymore. You know, kids are taught to lead with your shoulder, to make contact with your shoulder. We are fighting as coaches to keep the head out of the game because we want the game to be safe. Why would we want to put kids in danger? Why would we want to put our kids in harm's way? We're trying to teach ways to keep the head out of the game. The strike zone, the target zone of where you're supposed to hit, making contact with the shoulder, taking the head to the other side to keep head contact out of the game. All of those things are major technique advances designed to limit the amount of opportunities for your head to get hit. So you combine that with helmet technology that's advanced by leaps and bounds over the last 10 years, and the game is as safe as, I mean, it's it's a million times safer than it's ever been before. And like I said, is there still danger? Of course there is. You know, I'm going to cross the street later to go get a Starbucks. I'm going to walk across the street and get my wife a Starbucks. There's danger when I leave the house that something could happen for me, but she wants that Starbucks, so I'm getting it.
Well, Coach, you know, we're running up against the time here, but honestly, we love your passion, we love your commitment, and thank you for really enlightening us on this situation. And I hope people do go and, you know, study this, and they voice their opinions, because it really means a lot that people understand the correct way to play football and the way it's taught. And we appreciate your views, and you're always welcome here on the Inland Sports Show. So thank you, Vinny Fazio. You're the best. We love you.
Thank you. Study it for yourselves. Study it for yourselves, everybody.
I agree. Well, that is the great Vinny Fazio, the offensive coordinator at Los Osos High School. And he's really made some great points there about the legislation that is trying to be in effect here in California. Well, we are going to end the show here. Tomorrow, UC Riverside is going to take on UC Irvine at 5 o'clock. Pep Fernandez will be on the call for that. But we couldn't do it without our sponsors. Spoiled, quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by their excellent customer service and great prices. Check them out off of Alessandro Boulevard. And Ken Sporting Goods. Ken Sporting Goods has been around for more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, taking care of all of your sporting gear needs, plus Letterman's jackets. Check them out at kensportinggoods.com. Boost Performance Training. Athletes of all levels need to check out Boost Performance Training in Corona. Coach Ray Bass and his team bring experience, passion, and commitment to grooming great athletes. Check out boosttrainingsystems.com. Remember, if you mention my name, Jeff Gorham, your first strength and speed class will be free. And by Catalano Motors in Corona. Buy, trade, finance a new-to-you car or truck. You have high expectations when buying a car? Let Catalano Motors meet and exceed those expectations. Committed to excellence, it's Catalano Motors, located off of Temesco Canyon Road in Corona. Well, it was a great week. We're in our 10th week here at the Inland Sports Show. We love that you listen to us on a daily basis, every day, 3 to 6 p.m. on Fox Sports, 1350 a.m.
You can't take away my dignity. Because the great love of all inside of me. Yeah. Sexy chocolate.
Inland Empire